August 21st. Saint as usual, Seong Ji-han drove Yoon Se to school. However, they left earlier today, at 6 in the morning. Tomorrow was Yoon Se's 18th birthday. So, you'll be in the gift hall until midnight today? Yes, of course. I need to get a good gift, after all. I'll come pick you up then. Okay, uncle. After Yoon Se declined Kim Hee-soo's offer, she stopped riding with her on the way home. While Kim Hee-soo said it was okay, Yoon Se was reluctant because she felt as if she was accumulating a debt. But it'll be late, is that okay? I'm curious about your gift, so I'll definitely come. Hey, you told me not to expect too much, but you seem curious too. Why wouldn't I be? I just told you not to have too high expectations to avoid disappointment. Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. Yoon Se remained silent for a moment, her expression contemplative. Seong Ji-han thought, her expectations seemed to have diminished compared to before. Until recently, Yoon Se seemed confident she would receive a good gift. After all, no one had parents with an SSS rank and an sulfur monosulfide rank gift. Considering the total rank of her parents' gifts, she would be the world's top ranker. Even if there's randomness in the gifts, not having any expectations seemed strange. But recently, due to Seong Ji-han's continuous conversations and indirect brainwashing, her expectations seemed to have waned. Instead, she now had a deep yearning. Expectation and yearning. They seemed similar but were distinctly different. While Yoon Se's expectation was, of course, I'll receive a good gift. Her yearning was a deep-seated desire of, I must get a good gift. The situation has changed a lot from my previous life. Thanks to Seong Ji-han's efforts, compared to his previous life, things were better now. In the past, she was seen more as the biggest victim rather than the daughter of a traitor. But just because it's better now doesn't mean it's a good situation for Yoon Se. After all, she was still abandoned by her father. Even if expectations waned, the yearning was something Seong Ji-han couldn't control. Se. You've seen that even a F-rank gift can be useful, right? So, you can receive anything. Trying to lighten the mood, Seong Ji-han spoke, and Yoon Se slightly brightened. Really? You haven't even shown me the rest of your status window. Are you really that curious? Since it's the day before your birthday, should I show it now? No, not now. Today, I just want to focus on the gift haul. Okay. I'll show you after it's over. Okay. When they arrived at the BattleNet Academy's underground parking lot, Yoon Se got out of the car with a smile. Thanks, uncle. I'll go now. Her expression was as cheerful as always. On the other hand, Seong Ji-han couldn't help but sigh secretly. Once the results are out tonight, it'll be hard to see that smiling face. I should come early. Ji-han began driving away while thinking that he should be there sooner to clear up any unnecessary disturbances. In the gift hall, red gemstones, known as gift gems, were embedded all over the walls. Yoon Se was guided to a private room, a privilege given only to students on the day before their birthday. As Yoon Se entered the room, the gift gems around her blinked, signaling that the blessing of the gift gems was activated. Sitting silently, Yoon Se recalled yesterday's events. Are you still pretending to be friends with her? Voices echoed from the restroom belonging to someone familiar to Yoon Se. It was the voice of her friend whom she had known since her first year of the academy. I'm pretending just to get that interview, it's all a ruse. Are you a journalist? Lol. But Yoon Se is still acting high and mighty. Exactly. She's clueless, she should be grateful for the interview offer. It was Kim Hee-soo, her best friend and classmate, talking behind her back. Seriously, she thinks too highly of herself, she has nothing. Hey, what if she gets an SSS grade gift? Then, I'll become friends again. That's why I haven't completely cut her off. You really hate her, don't you? I never liked her from the start. She's from a baseless family. If not for BattleNet, would we even breathe the same air as her? Yoon Se was stunned by the malicious words from someone she believed was her closest friend. I had suspicions. There had been signs. After her return to school, her friend's behavior changed. They became distant and standoffish. At the time, she thought it was out of consideration, given what had happened to her. But after the Korea-Japan showdown, when the Sword King destroyed the Korean team, their attitudes became more evident, especially after it was confirmed that the Sword King wouldn't return to Korea. Gradually, Yoon Se was looked down upon by her peers. Kim Hee-soo's behavior was a prime example. She persisted with the interview request, a behavior she wouldn't dare display when the Sword King was around. I declined the interview, but she knew she would face reporters from Kim Hee-soo's media company once she left the gift hall after midnight. Despite her refusal, Kim Hee-soo's intentions remained unaltered. Gifts are random, Yoon Se whispered, recalling the words Seong Ji-han frequently mentioned. She understood why he kept emphasizing it. He was concerned about her, knowing that the higher the expectations, the greater the disappointment. But I need a good gift. It wasn't because she wanted the friends who spoke ill of her to approach her again. It wasn't because she feared ridicule from others if she didn't receive a gift. Compared to the pain of being abandoned by the father she admired, these things meant nothing. Yoon Se believed she had lived diligently in her place. She served as the student council president, maintained top grades, and fostered good relationships with her peers. However, after her father, the Sword King, betrayed the country, all her efforts felt in vain. Her life was entangled with the Sword King's actions. I want to stand on my own. If living a decent life was the goal, she had more than enough resources. The money she received from the Sword King was immense. But she wanted to live her life with freedom. Freedom from the label of Sword King's daughter and victim. To do that, she needed power. Yes, like her uncle, she wanted to showcase dominant skills in the lead. She wanted to live as BattleNet's rising star, not as the Sword King's abandoned daughter. To do that, I need a good gift, Yoon Se yearned deeply. I want to be like my uncle. At that moment, flash, flash. The gift gems began to shine brighter. This change was different from the usual blessings. She recalled stories from her senior students at the academy. The brighter the light emitted from the gift gem, the higher the probability of receiving a good gift. I don't recall any senior getting such a bright glow, even when they received an S grade. According to a senior's experience, about half of the gift gems in the room shone brightly. But right now, almost all the gift gems were flashing. Can I hope for something good? Yoon Se felt a surge of expectation she had been suppressing. In a coffee shop in Gangnam, Kim Hee-soo, meeting her cousin after a long time, checked the time. 9 p.m. It was time to get prepared. Bro, wait a sec, I need to make a call. Go ahead. Kim Hee-soo immediately picked up her phone. Reporter Kim? It's me. Yes, miss. Is everything ready for Sea's interview? For Miss Yoon's interview. We are prepared, but are you sure? We don't even know what her gift is. Hey, we're best friends. She gave me permission. Despite Yoon Se's repeated refusals, Kim Hee-soo confidently said so. But outsiders are forbidden to enter at this hour, right? Of course, you'll go with me. All right, where should we go? After Kim Hee-soo mentioned the name of the cafe, reporter Kim added. I'm worried Mr. Seong might interfere again. Seong Ji-han. Why would he? Last time during the Independence Day interview at Sword Palace, he restrained our reporters. I don't know what power he used, but they couldn't move at all. Anyway, I'll head there, miss. Okay, reporter Kim. After ending the call, Kim In-sik, Kim Hee-soo's cousin, looked intrigued. An interview at this hour? Do you know Yoon Se? Yoon Se? Oh, the Sword King's daughter? I asked you to set us up on a date, but you said she was out of my league. Yes, her. Really, seeing the change in Kim Hee-soo's attitude, Kim In-sik became interested. Does she have a boyfriend? She probably never dated in her life. Really? With that face? She's always had high standards. Maybe she never found anyone worthy? How about me? Kim Hee-soo chuckled. It seemed like he'd become interested in her after seeing the photos she shared on her social media with her friends. During the time when she was known as the Sword King's daughter, she was out of your league. But now, you're too good for her. You've been doing well lately. Kim In-sik, who received an A-grade gift and grew rapidly, was now level 50 and preparing for his silver promotion match. Well, looks are everything in a relationship. Don't end up falling for her. She's practically an orphan now. She has her uncle, right? That's why I said, practically. You better not talk like that about my future girlfriend. What are you talking about? Do you like her that much? Well, she's pretty. So for guys, beauty is everything? Kim Hee-soo casually added, do you want to come for the interview too? Oh, really? Yes. Just in case Seong Ji-han tries to mess up the interview, you can step in. At that, Kim In-sik narrowed his eyes. So that's why you called me out of the blue, isn't it? No, I only heard about Seong Jihan now. Suspicious. You're not scared of a Bronze League player, are you? Are you crazy? Why would I be scared of a bronze player? Let me see her picture again. Upon seeing the photo, wow, she's really so pretty. I'll go with you on one condition. Give me her number. Number? Okay, I'll give it to you after the interview. Great, great. I need to fix my hair then. Kim In-sik quickly left, and watching him, Kim Hee-soo smirked. It's settled. No matter how strong Seong Jihan might be, he can't beat a level 50 warrior. 11 p.m. BattleNet Academy. Seong Jihan frowned upon seeing the reporters gathered at the academy's entrance. This brings back unpleasant memories. They had forcibly interviewed Yoon Se, who was devastated after receiving an F-rank gift. The relentless pressure from the reporters eventually made Yoon Se reveal that she had received an F-rank gift. I watched that scene from home, feeling helpless. His pathetic uncle was no help at all during that time. The interview with Yoon Se spread widely on the internet, becoming a hot topic among people. I need to handle this immediately. Seong Jihan approached the reporters with a commanding presence, drawing all their attention. If you're here to interview Se, you're wasting your time. She won't be giving any interviews today. Please leave. This statement made the reporters hesitate, especially those who had faced him before seemed more cautious. I don't want to be paralyzed again. Who knows how long he'll immobilize us this time. Should we pretend to retreat for now? But a few reporters who hadn't experienced Seong Jihan's power before bravely approached him. Excuse me, are you Seong Jihan? Can we interview you? With a swift move, Seong Jihan gestured. No, his dominating force pushed the approaching reporters back. Understood, while most gave up after being pushed back. This is unacceptable. How dare you use telekinesis? It's inappropriate for a player to use their powers carelessly, especially against a reporter. You're denying the people's right to information. Two reporters continued to protest vehemently. This won't do. With a snap of his fingers, the mouths of the two protesting reporters were sealed, and their bodies froze, standing like statues at the school entrance. He's got them. He's really terrifying. Guess there aren't going to be any interviews today. The other reporters reluctantly retreated. Soon after, a security guard approached Seong Jihan with a weary expression. These people, when will they be released? You will release them, right? Yes, they'll be released once I go inside. I was worried about what would happen if they stayed frozen like that. But is the academy going to just let them stay out here like? Seong Jihan looked at the guard with an annoyed expression. I'd prefer not to see them when I come out with Se. The reporters were quite persistent. We won't give any interviews. Surely BattleNet Academy prioritizes its students over reporters, right? Yes, you're right, but if those reporters block our car or something. Seong Jihan gave a chilling smile. I can't guarantee what might happen. The guard felt a shiver down his spine. Seong Jihan's demeanor was far from ordinary. Understood. We'll ensure they leave. Thank you. The gift hall was quiet. Unlike the entrance, there was no one inside except for a single guard. Are you here as Yoon Se's guardian? Yes. You can wait at that table over there. Following the guard's instruction, Seong Jihan took a seat in the designated area. Checking the time, it was already 11:30 p.m. Not long now, Yoon Se would receive her gift. I should have looked more into Se's gift in my past life. However, the reason Seong Jihan valued Yoon Se's gift was simple. There was a ranker in China with the same gift as Yoon Se. She was the world's second-ranked player who died during the final demotion match alongside Baron. Every time I heard about her gift, I remembered Se's death, so I avoided detailed information about it. While he knew the general story of how the Chinese ranker had grown, he had avoided delving deeper due to the painful memories. At least, I know the direction to nurture that gift. That knowledge was sufficient. While Seong Jihan was deep in thought with his eyes closed, a familiar voice sounded. Hello, you're Se's uncle, right? I'm Hee-soo. That guy. From the corridor, the voices of Kim Hee-soo and a man echoed. Seong Jihan turned his head. 3 people were approaching from the corridor. Kim Hee-soo, a middle-aged man with a camera, and a muscular young man in a sleeveless shirt. Se will be out soon, right? We have an interview scheduled. We decided not to do the interview. No, Se agreed to do it with us. Seong Jihan's eyes grew colder. In his past life, Se had no friends left, but recently, she seemed close to Kim Hee-soo. There's no need for it, Seong Ji-han replied firmly, but Kim Hee-soo's smile widened. We agreed to do it, right, cousin? Oh, yes, so he's that bronze player? The young man in the sleeveless shirt walked up, his muscles unnaturally twitching and then solidifying. Stone skin, oh, bronze, you have a discerning eye. Stone skin was a skill that warriors could learn at level 50, essential for those who played the role of tankers. Using it so openly meant this young man was over level 50. You threatened reporters with telekinesis, huh? Isn't that too much against ordinary people? Just stay put until the interview ends, got it? Huh. Also, your niece will be hanging out with me for a while. Kim In-sik blocked Seong Ji-han's path with a smug look. She'll be an adult after her birthday anyway. So, no big deal, right? Might even pull an all-nighter. Hee. Seong Ji-han's gaze turned icy. Whether it was Kim Gyu-hyuk or this guy, there were too many crossing the line. At least Kim Gyu-hyuk had a reason, but this guy was just senseless. Seong Ji-han stretched out fingers. Oh, you want to show me your telekinesis ability? You think it'll work on me? Kim In-sik spoke confidently, but you think my ability won't work on you? Seong Ji-han chuckled, as if amused. How about now? When Seong Ji-han pulled his finger back. Thud. A tearing sound came from Kim In-sik's head. Asterisk. You've turned 18 years old and awakened as a player. You've received a gift. Phew, Yoon Se sighed unknowingly. Thankfully, she had obtained a gift. Even for students of the academy, the chance of getting a gift was not more than 50%. More than half of the awakened players didn't have a gift, so she was off to a good start. Status window. Yoon Se opened her status window and her eyes widened. The very first stats shown were strength, agility, stamina, and magic power. All of them were recorded as 10. They were maxed out stats. Yoon Se felt a surge of pride without realizing it. But that joy was short-lived. The most crucial part was yet to come, the slot for the gift at the very bottom of the status window. Of course, the initial stats were an essential factor in determining a player's talent. However, the grade of the gift was even more vital in determining whether one would remain an amateur or turn professional. Huh? And then, Yoon Se's eyes widened once more as she saw her gift. Gift. Late bloomer. Rank F. Rank F for the gift. No matter how random gifts were, she never expected to receive such a rank. She slumped down, feeling as if she couldn't stand. Even after awakening as a player and feeling healthier than before, she felt paralyzed. It was cold. Despite being summer in August, she felt a chill throughout her body. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Hoping it was just a dream, she closed and opened her eyes repeatedly. However, the status window was ruthless. Gift, late bloomer, rank F. Great potential takes time to manifest, and there was even such a careless description. It was simply absurd. Yoon Se's head drooped. Ha, she let out a bitter laugh. Her dreams had shattered. It felt as if the whole world was crumbling around her. Worst birthday ever. What should she do now? She hadn't considered the possibility of receiving an F-rank gift. I can't become a player now. With an F and an ambiguous gift called late bloomer, the prospects of becoming a BattleNet player weren't bright. Should I prepare for college entrance exams? At least she had maintained good grades, so as not to tarnish the name of the Sword King. She sighed again. She just wanted to sit down and do nothing. If it was going to turn out like this, why did the gift gem shine so brightly? The gift gem, which shone even more brilliantly than that of a senior who received an S grade, had falsely raised her hopes. She almost shed tears thinking about how hopeful she had been just moments ago. I won't cry. After taking a deep breath, Yoon Se stood up. What's done was done. Her uncle would be waiting outside, so she couldn't stay slumped here forever. Come to think of it, did Uncle know something? As Yoon Se left the gift hall, she recalled how Seong Ji-han had consistently emphasized that gifts are random, recently. He had stressed the randomness to such an extent that at times, it felt somewhat hurtful. But after receiving an F, she felt grateful for his words. If she hadn't been prepared by his talks, her disappointment would have been even more profound. First, let's get out quickly, and I should thank Uncle. Step by step, Yoon Se tried to compose herself, rubbing her eyes as she slowly exited the gift hall. Whoosh! As she opened the door, she saw something floating in midair, and upon closer inspection. Is that hair? Short strands of sandy yellow hair which was clumped together with wax was floating in the air as if it were a clump of weeds that had been plucked out. Beyond the man's hair, which looked like it was styled after a Japanese samurai, was. It works, huh? Her uncle, with one corner of his mouth raised, was making a gesture with his fingers. Thud. The hair, yanked out by the force, fell to the ground. This bastard, he was already self-conscious about his hair because he was balding. People often thought he was in his early 30s because of his hair, even though he was still in his mid-20s. Damn it, I'll kill you. Wait, bro, stop. Ignoring the security and his cousin's attempts to restrain him, Kim In-sik charged at Seong Ji-han like a bull. He was a level 50 warrior. Even though in the real world, players' powers are nerfed compared to in the game, at that level, he was essentially a superhuman. Whoosh! Kim In-sik's fist, splitting the air, flew towards Seong Ji-han's face. A level 50 attack is both fast and deadly. His fist, toughened into stone-like hardness by the stone skin, was akin to a massive hammer. Even another player of the same ranking wouldn't stand a chance against that attack, not to mention one with just a bronze ranking. We're doomed. Kim Hee-soo's face paled. She had only intended to threaten Ji-han a little, but things escalated. Especially with Kim In-sik's rank A strength, if Seong Ji-han took a direct hit, his head might explode. It's okay if he loses a leg or two, but don't kill him. As Kim Hee-soo was thinking this, swish, Kim In-sik's charging fist began to slow down. What? Kim In-sik's body wasn't responding as it should, as if stuck in a swamp. He had entered the absolute domain controlled by Seong Ji-han's force. The pressing force from all around him was too much for even the Silver League player Kim In-sik to handle. As his slowed fist moved forward, Seong Ji-han threw a punch of his own. Hey, crack! A horrifying sound came from Kim In-sik's fist, and the stone-like skin showed cracks. It was the effect of the stone skin breaking. This can't be, he couldn't believe it. The opponent was bronze. Even though the opponent had been rumored to be a strong player lately, there was a 20-level difference between them. Even using telekinesis, the basic stat difference was enormous. However, the reality was the opposite. Are silver players supposed to be this weak? Damn you! Kim In-sik was enraged. How could he be humiliated by a bronze player? He should have felt that there was something wrong when he saw his skill get shattered so easily, but his anger clouded his judgment. Die. Whip. Kim In-sik attempted a surprise low kick at Seong Ji-han. However, he had already entered the domain of Seong Ji-han's force. Though he tried to land a powerful low kick, his leg moved sluggishly. You're just asking for a beating. Seong Ji-han countered with a low kick of his own to Kim In-sik's leg. Snap. The stone skin on the leg shattered, and the sound of breaking bone echoed. Gah! Unlike in the BattleNet game, the direct pain was unbearable, even for a Silver League player like Kim In-sik. He rolled on the ground, screaming in pain. It hurts. It hurt way too much. For a level 50 warrior, a tank in his party, it was out of character for Kim In-sik to have tears in his eyes. This is cheating. Cheating. How can a bronze? How weak. Just from a broken bone, a level 50 warrior was whining like this. Seong Ji-han clapped his hands and then clenched his fists. Thud. My eyes. Feeling sudden pain near his eyes, Kim In-sik instinctively covered them, fearing that the monster might pluck them out. But it wasn't his eyes that were plucked, it was his eyebrows. In between his trembling fingers, tufts of eyebrows fell. Kim In-sik, still covering his eyes, shivered uncontrollably. He had lost all his earlier bravado. Have you lost your mind? Kim Hee-soo, who had been watching from a distance, hurriedly rushed over. How can you hurt someone like this? I'll sue you for assault. Sue? I've just defended myself from his punches? Is this called self-defense? Kim Hee-soo gritted her teeth. You started by pulling out his hair, then go ahead and sue me for that. Do you even know who you're dealing with? You're messing with the Korea Daily family. Korea Daily? Yes. You should know your place, you ignorant commoner. Kim Hee-soo's face turned red with anger as she shouted. Kim In-sik, her cousin, was from the Korea Daily family, even if he was from a side branch. He is not someone who should be treated so poorly by a mere commoner. Uncle. Yoon Se, who had come out of the gift hall, quickly approached Jihan. She had no idea why this had happened, but she felt the need to mediate. Kim Hee-soo shouted at her, Yoon Se, this is all because of you. Because of me? I offered to do the interview for you. You should have just accepted it. Why did you bring my brother into this mess? I said I wouldn't do the interview. Shut up, it's for me to decide that. How dare an orphan, ah. Suddenly, a chunk of Kim Hee-soo's hair was plucked out. Unlike with Kim In-sik, the center of her head was bald, reminiscent of alopecia. She teared up from the pain and glared at Seong Jihan. Quiet. You're insane. How dare you touch me? Do you want to go bald? I'll bury you for sure. Do you still think you still are a part of the Sword King family? Ignorant fools? Yoon Se-'s expression stiffened after hearing Kim Hee-soo's threat. The Korea Daily, one of the top 3 newspapers in Korea. Kim Hee-soo's family was connected to various conglomerates, and if they decided to retaliate, it would be hard to fight them. Moreover, as Kim Hee-soo said, Yoon Se and Seong Jihan were no longer part of the Sword King family. Without their powerful backing in Korea, they were vulnerable. We should apologize. Yoon Se bit her lip. Today really was her worst birthday. Se bit her lip. She was already distressed for having received an F-rank gift and now had to apologize to Hee-soo, who had stopped acting as her friend and was shouting in a depreciating way. But when she tried to step forward, her body stiffened and wouldn't move. It's okay. Seong Jihan used Fricky to push Yoon Se back and stepped forward. Kim Hee-soo, with her fierce eyes, glared at Seong Jihan. Try it. You really think I can't do it? Yeah. Go ahead. I can just leave Korea with Se, that'll be the end of it. What? Seong Jihan tapped Kim In-sik, who was lying on the ground. I'm a bronze player who can take down a silver player in one blow. There must be countries eager for someone like me. These days, scouts from Japan are pestering me daily. Lately, I've even been getting offers from the US and China. I will leave the country saying the Korea Daily was messing with me and harassing me. Seeing how people react after hearing the world's most promising talent left the country due to media tyranny would be fun. Who said you're the world's most promising talent? Obviously, me. Seong Jihan spoke without changing his expression. He was outrageously shameless, but witnessing this made Kim Hee-soo's heart drop. I wouldn't blink an eye at most people, but this bastard isn't just a promising player. Seong Jihan's performance in the Bronze League was insane. And right now, in front of her eyes, he had effortlessly neutralized a level 50 silver rank warrior. At this rate, isn't he truly one of the world's promising players? At least among the world's bronzes, he should be counted in the top 10. Plus, he has a lot of BattleTube subscribers too. If he were to announce on his channel that he's leaving the country due to Korea Daily, and then excel as a player in the US, Korea Daily would only get unnecessary criticism due to Kim Hee-soo's actions. The country was already at risk of falling to the bottom of the East Asian League after the Sword King left, so they desperately needed an outstanding player. She could face much greater backlash than she had anticipated. Considering this, her boiling rage cooled a bit. If you apologize to us here, I might let this slide. Kim Hee-soo demanded an apology, trying to compromise as much as possible, but you should be the one apologizing. You want it to be this way? Of course. Swish, swish, Seong Jihan made a swatting gesture with his hand. If you don't want to apologize, just take that guy and get out. Eek. Do you think I'll let this? Kya. Thump. Kim Hee-soo's left eyebrow was completely plucked out. The security guard, who was watching from a distance, gaped. Jihan didn't care about who he was talking to. I didn't do anything wrong, right? Such thoughts went through his mind. If you scream again, then the right brow goes next. You crazy bastard, or should I pluck something else next? This guy would really do it. For now, they had to retreat. As Seong Jihan added that remark, Kim Hee-soo shuddered and then signaled to the middle-aged reporter. What are you doing? Help my brother up. Yes. My leg is broken. You acted so cocky. What the hell is this? Kim Hee-soo, without meeting Seong Jihan's eyes, left with her cousin. Yoon Se, who had been released from her paralysis, blinked in confusion. What on earth happened? Seong Jihan explained everything that happened here to Se. That guy was trying to force himself onto me? And she tried to force an interview? Yes. But uncle, if you do that to someone from Korea Daily, won't that cause big trouble? It's fine. Even though Korea Daily was among the top 3 newspapers in Korea with immense societal influence, Seong Ji-han seemed unconcerned. Uncle, Korea Daily family is very powerful. They don't just run the newspaper. They are also connected to various conglomerates through marriage. It doesn't matter. If they become too bothersome, we can just move to the US. Huh? When did you get an offer from the US? I'm going to get one soon? His reply was so nonchalant, it was almost absurd. Huh? So, there hasn't been any scouting offer yet? Yeah. It's just a matter of time, right? Uncle, aren't you worried? Why should I be? It's Korea Daily. Seong Ji-han gently patted Yoon Sea's head. Seiya, we're living in the era of BattleNet. The stature of a promising player is much higher than you think. Even so, moreover, after the tutorial season ends, the value of a player will rise even more. Seong Ji-han, who had experienced the future, was a witness to this fact. In 2020, the stature of a BattleNet player felt akin to a combination of a professional athlete and an entertainer. However, after the tutorial ended, the caliber of a player became directly linked to a country's national security. Nations without outstanding players perished, so don't worry too much. Okay. Seiya stared at the confident Ji-han. He can be this assertive because he has skills. How nice. Yoon Seiya felt a deep envy towards her uncle. Just moments ago, she considered bowing her head to Kim Hee-se out of concern for the aftermath. But Seong Ji-han, with his unparalleled abilities, wasn't fazed by such an opponent. Until she received her gift, she had wanted to live a life filled with such confidence. But having received an F rank, that dream now seemed impossible. Uncle, I think I'm ruined. I should probably start preparing for college entrance exams. Really? Yeah. I should also drop out of the academy. Our internal grades aren't recognized anywhere, after all. The BattleNet Academy, established for a specific purpose, had a completely different curriculum from regular high schools, so most universities didn't acknowledge its internal grades. Thus, students who didn't receive a gift and wanted to attend college often dropped out and took the General Education Development Test instead. Seiya. Yeah, uncle. Do you want to see my status window? Yoon Seiya's brow slightly furrowed at those words. She was utterly distressed about receiving an F-rank gift. Instead of comforting her, he's suddenly offering to show his status window. All right. Still, her curiosity was insatiable. Don't be too shocked. I'll explain in detail at home. Soon after, Yoon Seiya gazed at the status window that Seong Ji-han presented. Her eyes widened. What is this even possible? Uncle, were you playing a different game? When they returned home, Yoon Seiya was the first to bring up the story. Martial power, force, what are these? They're unique stats. There are unique stats? I know about rare stats, like Dad's, no, Ito's, twin swords. Rare stats were widely known even among the public because, when a player reached Diamond League, a new stat was added to their stat window that was tailored to each player and provided even greater effects than the existing ones. That was what a rare stat was. How could your stats be like this when you aren't in the Diamond League? But Seong Ji-han, despite being a Bronze League player, had not one but 2 unique stats. There's a way. Can I do this too? Yoon Seiya asked with a glimmer of hope. Even though she received a low-ranked gift, with these special stats, she could play her role properly in the league just like her uncle. No, if she became like her uncle, she could even conquer the league by herself. Well, not these 2. Seong Ji-han shook his head. His unique stat, martial power, required Dongfang Shuo's brush, and on top of that, you needed to have the gift, Wanderer's Insight. As for force, you need 2 classes, mage and support. She met none of those conditions. That's too bad. Instead, I know how to obtain another unique stat. Really? Yeah. If you get that, you'll become a great player too. Seong Ji-han said nonchalantly, but it will be a little tough. Only a little? I can manage that much. Well, let me clarify. It's a little, by my standards. It's going to be quite tough for you. Is that so? Given that it's by your standards, it will probably be extremely challenging. Ji-han chuckled at the worried Seiya. Although she'd said that, he knew that his niece had an impressive determination. You can do it, so don't worry. And, what is your gift? Just then Jihan realized that he hadn't seen Yoon Sea's gift until now. He had pretended not to know until now, but it was time to find out. This is it. In response to Seong Jihan's question, Yoon Se showed her gift. Gift. Late bloomer, rank F. Great potential takes time to manifest. Is that all for the explanation? Yeah, that's it. I thought it was a proverb or something. Seong Jihan pretended to think deeply, but he already knew what that gift meant. It's hard to see the true value of late bloomer with such an uninspiring description. That's why he had prepared something in advance. Here. What's this? Your real birthday present. Without any fancy packaging, Seong Jihan took out an item from his inventory and handed it to Yoon Se. What Seong Jihan gave her was a golden-eyed pair of glasses that glowed. Hermes monocle. Grade A. The monocle of Olympus's god, Hermes. Allows you to identify the essence of a gift. One-time use item. It was an item that could be obtained by repairing the messenger's broken monocle, which was a C-rank item sold on the BattleNet market for 100 GP. He'd repaired the monocle using the achievement shop's emergency recovery. In fact, he could have obtained it without using emergency recovery. After all, once the tutorial was over, a repair kit dropped inside Diamond League dungeons, but I can't wait until then. It was a birthday present for his niece, so he was okay with spending 10,000 achievement points. But what is this? It's your birthday present. Yoon Se looked at the glasses with a puzzled expression. The lenses of the glasses shone in a golden hue, not something you'd expect from a regular item. Now that you have your status window and have awakened as a player, you can use your inventory, right? Yeah. Put it in your inventory and check the item description. Inventory. Following Seong Jihan's instructions, Yoon Se put Hermes' monocle in her inventory and her eyes widened as she read the item description. Wow. There was an item like this. Yeah, it's a one-time use though. Wow, it's a grade A item? Isn't it expensive? Yoon Se felt that using this item on her useless gift was a waste. It's not like that, so don't worry and use it. When Seong Jihan said that with a calm expression, Yoon Se nodded her head. She knew that an A-grade item was extraordinary, but honestly, she was curious about the essence of this gift. As soon as she used Hermes' spectacles. The description of the gift, late bloomer, completely changed. Gift, late bloomer, rank F. Participate 50 times in the game to upgrade. Upgrades the basic BattleNet system. To upgrade it, you must participate in BattleNet games. F rank effect. Increases daily game participation by 100% increase in natural stat growth. What's this? Yoon Se blinked her eyes. A gift that could be upgraded. So far, all the gifts that had appeared had fixed ranks that didn't go up or down. The fact that it could be upgraded was unimaginable. What happened? What gift did you get? Look at this. She quickly shared her status window and showed the gift section. Whoa, a gift that can be upgraded? And the F-rank gifts effect is also good. Seong Jihan recalled Shin Yue, a Chinese ranker who had this gift in his previous life. No wonder he could participate in the games twice a day. And the fact that the natural stat growth rate increases by 100%. Strength, stamina, agility, and etc. Even without investing unused points, it meant that the stats that could be raised through training would increase even faster. Perhaps this was the effect befitting the name, late bloomer. It has good effects. Is that so? Yeah, and with the increased natural stat growth rate, it'll be easier to obtain rare stats too. Really? Is that true? It's true. Well, my niece, you received a good gift. At those words, Yoon Se fell to the floor, her expression overcome with emotion. Even though she had received an F-rank gift, she hadn't cried, but now, with improved results, tears welled up in her eyes. Swoosh. Several tissues automatically came out, floating in front of Yoon Se. Thank you, uncle. It's the least I could do. Anyway, so, are you going to be a player? With a gift like this, of course. Now that she had a growing gift, there was no need to study for the college entrance exam. Seong Jihan nodded lightly at her response. All right, let's go eat. Food, yeah. You've been in the gift hall all day. You haven't eaten anything, right? I'm Oka. Growl, however, before she could finish speaking, a loud growl echoed from her stomach. Yoon Se's face turned red. Your body is more honest than you. Seong Jihan brought bread and soup. Last time, You said you wanted to eat a full-course meal, right? Ah. I'm going to grill a steak, so fill your stomach with this for now. Since when were you cooking? The utensils and cutlery, including forks and spoons, flew in by themselves and the empty dining table was instantly set. It was like magic. Yoon Se had an astonished expression. She had thought her birthday would be the worst when she received the gift at the academy. But the situation had completely changed. Did Uncle know this would happen? Before receiving the gift, he had repeatedly told her not to expect too much from it. Yet, after receiving an F-rank gift, he gave her Hermes' monocle as if he had been waiting for it. No matter how much she thought about it, it seemed like her uncle knew everything. Is he able to see the future? Saya thought about it for a brief moment but decided to let such thoughts go. If her uncle wanted to tell her, he would. All she could do for the moment was be grateful. Uncle, this is really delicious. She smiled brightly as she tasted the soup. It wasn't the forced smile she had been putting on but a genuine one. It was a smile that came from her heart. Seong Ji-han watched her with a slight smile on his face. He hadn't seen that smile since the Sword King left Korea. Let's see it more often. Morning on the 22nd. As soon as Seong Ji-han woke up, he logged into BattleNet. First place again. What's up with the obvious comment? He must go to silver quickly. When's the promotion match? Securing first place in defense maps had become a daily occurrence for Seong Ji-han. After the game ended, he received a notification message. You've reached level 25. You've reached the level cap for the Bronze League. Your level will no longer increase. You can now participate in the league promotion match. Oh, everyone? I've reached level 25. Whoa, really? Congrats. Whoa, you're finally going to get to Silver League. Already? Is he going to participate in the promotion after less than a month? Congrats, congrats. Surprised emoticons. Seeing the news that Seong Ji-han had reached the promotion match level, a flood of congratulations filled the chat. And with that, another system message popped out in front of him. You've achieved first place in the Bronze League with the highest win rate. You've earned the title of Dominator of the Bronze League. You are eligible to participate in the top 100 feet promotion match. Everyone, I can also participate in the top 100 feet promotion match. Top 100? Whoa. Does that mean Ji-han is within the top 100 feet bronze players? Of course, 100. At this point, he's probably first. For real, didn't he take the first place in every game? The top 100 feet promotion match was a particularly special match among promotion matches. Unlike regular promotion matches, which were played among players from the same country, the top 100 feet matches were selected by the system from among the top 100 players in the world. The top 100 feet promotion match, held on the 25th of each month, garnered immense popularity worldwide. Although no one paid much attention to Bronze League promotion matches due to their lower ranking, the top 100 matches were different. Is Bronze the first to broadcast? I always skipped Bronze and watched from the top 100 Silver, but I'll have to see it this time. Whoa, when was the last time a player from our country participated in a top 100 promotion match? It's been 4 years, ha ha ha. 4 years? Is K-BattleNet's level for real? By the way, if you participate in the top 100 promotion match, isn't promotion guaranteed? Yes. Just by being among the top 100, you're guaranteed a promotion. Unlike other, regular promotion matches, in the top 100 feet, your promotion was guaranteed just by participating. However, the match wasn't like the regular BattleNet games that ended when half the players were still alive. Instead, it went on until only one person remained. That was, after all, a clear way to determine the rankings from 1st to 100th. Would you like to participate in the top 100 feet promotion match? I'll participate. As Seong Ji-han made his decision to participate, he thought, finally, it's time to clear the epic quest. Since the promotion match map was a survival map like Colosseum, he was going to clear the epic quest, which required him to provoke the Shadows Queen, in a promotion match that attracted worldwide attention. To do that, I need to learn Nameless Divine Arts. Now that he had reached level 25, all he had to do was raise his martial power to 30, and he would meet the conditions to learn Nameless Divine Arts. Finally, with a smile on his lips, Seong Ji-han logged out to prepare for his final preparations. It was time to register Nameless Divine Arts in his skill window. SSS grade skill, Nameless Divine Arts, requires the condition, that is to have level 30 martial power. And to have that martial power stat, you needed to have Jihan's F-rank gift, Wanderer's Insight. Your martial power has reached level 30. The constellation, Wandering Martial God, has detected you through its fragment. The fragment must refer to the Wanderer's Insight. His gift, which had a vague description, had hidden descriptions as well, just like Seiya's. Gift, Wanderer's Insight, rank F, able to see the details of other players. Contains a fragment of the constellation, Wandering Martial God. You can use Dongfang Shuo's items. Wandering Martial God was his constellation in his previous life, so Jihan had good memories of him. While other players with constellations had to go through countless trials to become stronger, the Wandering Martial God hadn't asked much from Seong Jihan. Instead, when the time came, it had silently passed on the SSS grade skill, Nameless Divine Arts, and even the final rank title, Successor of the Martial God. The contract with the Wandering Martial God was a one-sidedly favorable contract for Seong Jihan, where he only received without giving. I need to form a contract with him again. The Wandering Martial God is observing you. Another line was added to the system message. Seong Jihan felt a gray light emanating from his entire body. The light seemed to be absorbed into his body. The Wandering Martial God is in the process of recognizing player Seong Jihan as his successor. The skill, Nameless Divine Arts, is being passed down to you. It was the same as the previous life. Seong Jihan smiled as he waited for Nameless Divine Arts to register in his skill window. He could still use Nameless Divine Arts, but having it registered in the skill tab would make it easier and more powerful. The basic martial arts, Triad of Martial Mastery, is being registered. Footwork technique, Flashing Sky Thundersteps, is being registered. Just like in his previous life, he was starting from these basics to fill in the first button of Nameless Divine Arts. But, BZZT, suddenly, sparks flickered from Seong Jihan's body, which had been absorbing the gray light. The Wandering Martial God frowns. The system message started to show a different reaction compared to his previous life. Wandering Martial God has realized that player Seong Jihan already unlocked the 3 Dantians. Wandering Martial God is extremely cautious about player Seong Jihan. Wandering Martial God has cancelled passing on his martial arts. What? Jihan was taken aback by the sudden messages. An omnipotent being within BattleNet is wary of me having unlocked the 3 Dantians? Wandering Martial God's strange behavior didn't stop there. Wandering Martial God has terminated the connection with player Seong Jihan. Wandering Martial God has retrieved the Wanderer's Insight gift from player Seong Jihan. He even took back the Wanderer's Insight, which was a fragment of the Martial God. The skill, Nameless Divine Arts, has been passed on in an incomplete state. Incomplete state. Seong Jihan opened the skill window with a stiff expression. Nameless Divine Arts, rank S, a skill containing only a fragment of Nameless Divine Arts. Contains basic techniques of Triad of Martial Mastery and Flashing Sky Thundersteps. When reaching the level of mastery in the martial art, the incomplete Nameless Divine Arts can be restored to its true self. The grade of Nameless Divine Arts had dropped from SSS to S, and it only contained the basic techniques of Triad of Martial Mastery and Flashing Sky Thundersteps. Seong Jihan had never been this stunned before in his second life. To think that the constellation who'd been so generous during his previous life was acting like that. That wasn't the only bad news. Status window, gift. His gift had truly been retrieved. Wanderer's Insight wasn't there anymore. You've reached level 25 without a gift. You've cleared the special achievement, Graduating Bronze, without a gift. You've earned 10,000 achievement points. You've been selected for the top 100 feet without a gift. You've cleared the special achievement, Be selected for top 100 without a gift. You've earned 30,000 achievement points. As soon as the gift disappeared, it was judged that he'd cleared some special achievements, which earned him a whopping 40,000 achievement points. It was a sudden jackpot, but Jihan's expression was stiff. This will distort my plans. Didn't that make waiting for level 25 meaningless? Jihan sighed and circulated the energy within the 3 Dantians. Why was Wandering Martial God so scared of that? Jihan was making his force and chi circulate throughout his body when... What's this? Suddenly, he felt a subtle strangeness within himself. It mixed seamlessly with his own energy but was clearly something different. Seong Ji-han carefully explored this foreign sensation. Here it is. The something was hidden inside the upper dantian at the top of the eyes, very subtly. If Seong Ji-han hadn't handled both force and martial power at the same time, and if he didn't have his previous life memories, he would have never discovered this strange presence. Why did I start feeling this now, and how is it related to what just happened? Seong Ji-han had a feeling that the recent events were somehow connected. After pinpointing where this foreign presence was located, Seong Ji-han cautiously explored it with his flow. Hey! Seong Ji-han smiled as he recognized what this something was. Although it was intertwined with his energy, it was unmistakably something else. Satisfied with his investigation, Seong Ji-han used his force to clean up this foreign presence. Ouch! Then, he felt intense pain in his left eye. Fizz! Gray smoke began to emanate from his left eye. What's this? It was the same color as the light when wandering martial god tried to make him his successor. Ji-han instinctively felt that the light and the smoke were the same energy. Maybe it's a fragment that the constellation couldn't retrieve? Maybe the constellation hadn't been able to fully retrieve all of his energy. As he thought about that, more system messages appeared. You've fully removed the remnants of wandering martial god. Player Seong Ji-han is completely free from the constellation's control. From now on, you can be sponsored by other constellations. Free from control? Ji-han's expression stiffened. If the system message was true, did that mean he'd been under the control of the wandering martial god all that time? I never felt that during my previous life. However, the system messages didn't lie. According to what it said, the gift must have been controlling him to some extent. To think I didn't realize this yet, he'd praised wandering martial god as someone who gave without taking anything in return. Wandering martial god has become even warier of player Seong Ji-han. Wandering martial god has hurriedly hidden his traces. Why is a constellation acting like this? When you only read the messages popping up, it seems as though the constellation is fleeing while being cautious of the Bronze League player. Even if he was a wanderer, wasn't he a martial god? Why would someone of such caliber act like that? Everything was only getting more confusing. The good thing is that there's another way. Maybe the Shadow Queen constellation knew something. Ji-han was looking forward to the 25th. He needed to successfully clear both the promotion match and the epic quest. Asterisk. Ah. I failed again. In the Divergent Guild office, Heian was grabbing her hair in frustration. I could have won. Miss, please stop the gambling. This is my 183rd time saying it this year. No, I can't give up when I think about what I've lost. I'll win here and retire. Behind Heian, Lim Gaeong's face darkened. She really is a lost cause. Moreover, your recent win rate seems to have worsened. Could you be quiet? Excluding the hint Ji-han gave you, you've lost everything. I should have put in more money. I only used a little, to think it would multiply 37 times. Oh, 37 times? Then you must have made a lot of money? No, I put more money on Japan's victory, Heian mumbled with a sulky look. It would have been her chance to hit the jackpot. Having missed that chance when it was right in front of her made her heart ache. Every time she communicated with Ji-han, she remembered that missed chance, which irritated her. Can't I get a huge one? Miss, your family is well off, so why are you like this? You're from the Divergent family. I want to become independent. Gaeong, have you seen my fiancé candidates? Gaeong was lost for words. Matching Lee Heian's social standing, people from other rich families put forward as possible partners were terrible. Most men from those wealthy families looked good by average people's standards, but that wasn't the case with the people who were Heian's potential fiancés. Well, in a capitalist society, isn't having a lot of money the best? Right? Even if your husband weighs 0.15 tons or even if he cheats on you with not one but 7 other women, as long as he's rich, isn't that great? That's not what I meant, but, well, it isn't just because of the engagement. It's my situation overall. I want to become independent. Slide. Heian brushed her hair back and sighed. To do that, I need money. But is the only way to get that money through gambling? It isn't gambling. It's a BattleNet match prediction analysis. Why don't you just accept that it's gambling? Anyway, Heian anxiously bit her nails. It's already too late. I've lost too much. I need to make up for this, somehow. They were the words of a typical gambling addict. Lim Gaeong looked at Haeyeon with a concerned expression. How could she help? Although she was working for her, they had grown together since childhood, so they were like sisters. Gaeong wanted to help Haeyeon find her path. Ding. At that moment, a message appeared on Haeyeon's phone. Oh, it's Seong Ji-han. To think he'd contact you first. What a surprise. No. This is how it should be. Everything until now was abnormal. Acting so mighty, HMPH. Haeyeon unlocked her phone with a triumphant smile. At that moment, I heard you lost a lot last time, but are you doing well now? As a means of redemption, I'll predict again for you. I have been selected for the top 100 feet bronze promotion match that will take place on the 25th of August. First place, Seong Ji-han. Most kills, Seong Ji-han. If you bet like this, you'll make up for your losses in one go. Just like during the Korea-Japan match, Seong Ji-han's message appeared, predicting the outcome. Lim Gaeong, who was silently reading messages from behind, spoke up in a surprised voice. Wait, he's already going to participate in a promotion match? Yeah, he mentioned it on BattleTube yesterday. It's absurd. More importantly, how can he be so confident? Although Lim Gaeong expressed her disbelief, it's given. Lee Haeyeon's eyes, as she read the message, were flashing dangerously. This is an opportunity. Tap, tap, tap. Lee Haeyeon, with her hair tightly tied back, was furiously typing away on her keyboard. Her face looked more serious than ever. Watching her from behind, Lim Gaeong was practically trembling with excitement. And no wonder, because the screen illuminated by Lee Haeyeon's monitor was none other than a betting site on Battle.net. As expected, these gamblers are quick. Are you finally admitting it's gambling? Oh, let me correct myself. These analyzers sure are quick. Ha. So, why do you think that, Miss? Seong Ji-han's odds for first place aren't as high as I expected. They're around 1.8 times. Low odds mean that people have high expectations for Seong Ji-han's chances of winning. Even though the news of Seong Ji-han joining the top 100 promotion match had only been out for a day, it seemed like the gamblers had already conducted thorough research on him. Is that considered low? Yeah, if you rank by low odds, it's second place. Well, considering how skilled Seong Ji-han is, it's not surprising. I see. He's never missed first place even once, after all. Yeah, and if I combine it with most kills for Seong Ji-han. By adding most kills to Seong Ji-han's bet, the odds increased to just over 3 times. At this rate, I can recover a significant portion of my lost capital. Even tripling your capital won't cover your losses? Can you not ask for all the details? Alright, I won't. How much money did this gambling addict lose? While inwardly sighing, Lim Gaeong decided to comply with her request. Instead, she redirected the conversation. But who's the person with odds even lower than Seong Ji-han? The person with the lowest odds? Oh, here they are. A player highly regarded as the potential winner of the Bronze League Top 100 promotion match. When Lee Haeyeon saw his name, she furrowed her brow. Baron Williams. Baron? He's participating in this promotion match? Baron Williams, a powerful mage who dominated New York Area 1, known for gathering only the strongest mages among the bronze players in the United States. He recently revealed his gift in an interview, right? Yes. He bragged about having an SSS-ranked gift, My Status Window X2. Despite being a bronze player, Baron's highlight videos were all over the internet. Each scene was not only well-structured but also meticulously edited for maximum visual appeal. Wow, this guy's no joke. In the videos, Baron appeared to be an overwhelming mage, turning everything into a sea of flames with a wave of his hand. The ground would flip over, and lightning would strike down. Warriors would burn to ashes before even reaching him, and archers' arrows lost their power in midair. It's impossible to get close to him. Is it some kind of special power? Maybe it's because of his gift? Yeah, that's definitely not magic. Yes. No matter how you think about it, it seems like there's no game balance in Battle.net. Gaeong, how can you say that? While watching the video, they didn't think that Baron's power was the same as Seong Ji-han's telekinesis. Baron seemed more like a mage blocking enemy approaches. In any case, Lee Haeyeon was deeply immersed in thought. Can Seong Ji-han win against someone like Baron? I don't know. Lee Haeyeon nervously bit her nails. What should I do? What should I do? Weren't you planning to bet on Seong Ji-han? Right. But my nail biting is a jinx. Maybe it's a sign not to bet on Seong Ji-han and to bet on Baron instead? It was her own interpretation. In the end, Lee Hae-yeon placed a substantial amount of money on Baron. I should bet on Ji-han too, for business purposes. Meanwhile, the amount of money bet on Seong Ji-han was less than 20% of the amount bet on Baron. This reminds me of Independence Day. Seeing this from behind, Lim Gaeong discreetly took out her phone. I should bet on Seong Ji-han. Even though Baron seemed stronger to her, Lim Gaeong believed in the visible difference, Lee Hae-yeon's jinx. Asterisk. Baron is also in the Bronze League. Seong Ji-han entered the BattleNet betting site, and his eyes widened when he saw Baron Williams's name. Baron Williams, the world's #1 ranked player. He didn't know that Baron had started in 2020. I'll repay the debt from American First. Despite being a US citizen on paper, Seong Ji-han's nationality on BattleNet hadn't changed from Korean. That's why I didn't get nationality bonuses on BattleNet. As the tutorial ended, more content began to unlock in BattleNet, including many upgrade factors for players. One of these was nationality bonuses. As a result, players from powerful countries like the United States or China received nationality bonuses, making them even stronger. Meanwhile, players from failed nations couldn't get any nationality bonuses. The gap in stats gradually widened, and discrimination based on nationality became more severe. When I think about it, I reached 7th place without nationality bonuses in my previous life. It was miraculous that Seong Ji-han, a player from a failed nation, had reached 7th place in the world rankings. His exceptional skill had made it possible. So, despite discriminating against Seong Ji-han because he wasn't American, Baron found him useful as a hunting dog. Still, I'm grateful. Seong Ji-han smiled when he looked at the player with the lowest odds, Baron. Thanks to Baron's participation in the top 100 promotion match, Seong Ji-han's odds had increased. I'll gladly take it all. Seong Ji-han placed the money he had won by betting on the Korean-Japanese match on himself. By including first place and most kills in the bet, the odds reached just over 3 times. If I succeed, my assets will exceed 10 billion. Since he had bet so much money, the return would also be substantial. Uncle, what are you doing? I'm self-betting. Oh, on the top 100 matches? Yes. I'm certain I'll win first place, so I need to earn money now. What about Baron? He seems quite strong. Yoon Se cautiously pointed to Baron Williams, who Seong Ji-han was watching on the screen. I heard he dominated New York Area 1 like no one else. Well, that's true. My status window X2 gift is a scam, after all. Yeah, but I'll win. He's a balcone, you know. Balcone? You don't know balcone. It means he controls with his feet. Well, I do know that. Yoon Se tilted her head. What she couldn't understand why her uncle was calling such a player balcone. Uncle, if you're so sure, should I bet too? You too? Yes. No, I don't want to encourage my niece to gamble. How is it gambling when I know you're going to win? No, gambling is gambling. The feeling of putting money on the line, regardless of victory or defeat, the thrill of doubling or tripling the amount. Seong Ji-han was worried that Yoon Se might get hooked on BattleNet betting, which was known for its addictive nature. It isn't that much convincing coming from you. Gambling isn't a good habit in the first place. Se-ah had a great gift called late bloomer, so money won't be a problem for her when she ranks up. Exposing her to gambling felt wrong for Seong Ji-han. You've made the right decision. But why are you wearing a school uniform? Didn't you quit the academy? Yes, I did. But I still need to submit the withdrawal papers. Students who received gifts and awakened often dropped out of school. It was common for them to quit and join a guild rather than attending school. Even though Yoon Se had been the student council president and an honor student, there was no need for her to continue attending the academy if she had made up her mind to live as a BattleNet player. So, today is your last day, let's go then. Eek. You? Kim Hee-se saw Yoon Se coming out of school and exclaimed in shock. She had gone through so much trouble to cover up her hair and eyebrows Se lost on Yoon Se's birthday. She had tried her best to show a normal appearance, but the memories of the Seong Ji-han mercilessly plucking had subjected her to her still fresh. Seeing Yoon Se acting so nonchalant now, her stomach turned. Hello. You did a good job drawing your eyebrows. And your hair, is that a wig? It looks better than before. You? How dare you act so nonchalant? Do you have any idea what you guys did? My brother's leg is completely broken, he needs a cast. Well, then he should get one. But isn't it a bigger problem that a silver rank got beaten by bronze rank? What? Or are you going to sue Uncle? Yoon Se asked while looking at Kim Hisa. He's a player who made it to the top 100 in Korea after 4 years, you know. Kim Hisa was momentarily taken aback by that statement. A player who made it to the top 100 after 4 years in Korea. Even though he was in bronze, the significance of being in the top 100 was not something small. Seong Ji-han's face was already prominently displayed on the main screen of portal sites, and the media were rushing to cover this fact. A promising BattleNet player from Korea who had emerged after a long absence since the Sword King. Even if it were a reputable newspaper, they couldn't easily criticize Seong Ji-han. Do you really think we can't do it? Kim Hisa asked with effort, but her voice had taken on a pleading tone. Yeah, I think you can't. Yoon Se chuckled and got up from her seat. Where are you going? To submit my withdrawal papers. I was going to wait for the teacher to come, but I don't want to sit there any longer. Who knows when hairs start flying around? Yoon Se pinched her own eyebrow with her fingers and then calmly left her seat. Meanwhile, Kim Hisa was left trembling. To be treated with such disdain by someone as lowly as a commoner. She was seething with anger. She looked at her friends who were watching this situation with interest and shouted, "Hey, are you all just going to watch this? Why? Do you want us to join in? Are we crazy? Of course, we'll just watch." If Yoon Se received her gift well, what's it to you? These people, they used to belittle Yoon Se from behind. Kim Hisa gritted her teeth. That girl and her gift. The beginning of all these events was probably the attempt to monopolize the exclusive interview of Yoon Se's gift. Kim Hisa recalled that day. Suddenly, she thought of the CCTV in the gift department. Is there something I can find there? Kim Hisa stood up from her chair and left the classroom. Unable to contain her anger, Kim Hisa arrived at the gift department and made contact with the security guard. On the 22nd, there was an incident in front of the gift department. Do you have the CCTV footage? Give it to me now. I can't do that. I'm requesting it legitimately from the victim's perspective. Even so, unless an official complaint is filed, we can't release it. Well, do you also think Korea Daily is that easy to deal with? Kim Hisu's eyes were filled with determination, and the security guard flinched. He had been on duty on the night of the 22nd, and he had seen Kim Hisa being mistreated by Seong Ji-han with his own eyes. The hatred and anger he had witnessed in Kim Hisa at that time were genuine. I shouldn't mess with her for no reason. He wasn't an exceptional player like Seong Ji-han, and he had no influential background. He was just an ordinary citizen with no support to speak of. He feared that if he pushed the rules too far, he might become the target of her anger, which was already simmering. Ah, I understand. Unable to resist Kim Hisu's insistence, the security guard finally agreed to replay the CCTV footage from that day. The scene was of her cousin, who had a broken leg and had all his eyebrows plucked. Kim Hisa herself was shouting loudly, and the scene where her hair and eyebrows were also plucked was vividly displayed. It brought back painful memories of that day. Kim Hisa gritted her teeth and tried to hold back the involuntary shivers running through her body as she continued to watch the footage. She saw herself hurriedly escaping with her cousin, and not long after, the scene where Seong Ji-han and Yoon Se were having a conversation came up. She narrowed her eyes. Yoon Se, who usually maintained a bright and cheerful demeanor with a sunny smile, had a deeply saddened expression on her face in the CCTV footage. If her gift had worked well, she would never have made such an expression. What did these people talk about here? Well, you've already shown me the CCTV footage. Is there anything to hide? Kim Hisa spoke in a cold tone, and eventually, the security guard reluctantly recounted what he had heard that day. She said she is ruined and needed to focus on studying for the college entrance exam. What? She's ruined? Yes. But it seemed like she regained her determination later. After that, I didn't hear the details. Ha. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Seriously? Are you sure about that? Yes. Ha 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 ha. Unbelievable. So, Yoon Se was just showing off. Kim Hisa smiled widely at the news. How should she reveal this information? Through a newspaper article in Korea Daily? Or should she confront Yoon Se in person? Both, I guess. Kim Hisa had various ideas on how to ruin Yoon Seo even more. She returned to the classroom with light steps and looked around. Hey, where's Yoon Seo? She submitted her withdrawal papers and went home. What? Already? It's just the process of withdrawing, it'll be quick. After receiving their gift, many students chose to withdraw from the academy without completing the curriculum, so the withdrawal process at the academy was simple. Darn, she ran away. Kim Hisa wanted to mock her in front of everyone, but it was a pity. But why were you looking for Yoon Seo? When her friend asked with a puzzled expression, Kim Hisa considered telling them about what she had just learned but decided to keep quiet. I can't reveal it here when she's not here. If she talked to these gossip mongers, the news might break through elsewhere before Korea Daily could publish it. Korea Daily should be the first one to publish this. How could she ruin Yoon Seo more provocatively? Countless ideas came to her mind. Kim Hisa smiled with satisfaction at the thought. After having her hair and eyebrows plucked, it was the first time she smiled with joy. South Korea's top 100 participant, Seong Ji-han, who appeared after 4 years, Araboja. A monster who has never missed the first place. Amazement, Rekka News. Second place in top 100 odds? Seong Ji-han's chances of winning? Since the news of Seong Ji-han's participation in the top 100 promotion matches was revealed, various media outlets in South Korea have started to focus on Seong Ji-han. Top 100. Since these promotion matches took place once a month for each league, when you consider it on an annual basis, there were quite a few participants. In 1 year, each league alone had 1,200 players participating in the top 100, starting from the Bronze League. So, when you combined all the promotion matches from Bronze to Platinum, there were 4,800 participants. Among them, the fact that there hadn't been a South Korean player in 4 years was the current state of the South Korean BattleNet League. Although the league itself maintained an upper-middle position, most promising players were scouted and recruited by scouts from several advanced countries. In the end, only those with questionable potential remained in Korea. However, in the midst of this, the existence of Seong Ji-han suddenly appeared as if it had fallen from the sky. With a shocking debut that shattered the image of the Sword Palace's twin swords, he climbed to the top 100 stage by dominating the Bronze League for a month. Naturally, if you were Korean, you couldn't help but have high expectations for Seong Ji-han. If you're Korean, please cheer for Seong Ji-han. Yeah, he's our boy, of course. I would have picked him if it weren't for Baron. Foolish guys. Baron isn't even close to having a 100% win rate. You should definitely pick our Seong Ji-han. These Baron haters. Baron achieved a 75% win rate in New York 1, didn't you know? Watch Seong Ji-han's videos and come back. This guy isn't bronze level. At least, he should be considered gold level. Don't spread baseless rumors. If you do that, then Baron is at the platinum level, haha. Ah, they're still arguing. The passion of keyboard warriors knows no bounds. Yoon Seo made a disgusted expression as she watched the heated debates on the BattleNet site. Not only on BattleNet-related sites but also on various online communities in Korea, the content was flooded with discussions about Seong Ji-han versus Baron. Seo, what are you looking at? Oh, uncle, this. How could she describe this chaos in words? Yoon Seo showed the screen she had been watching. If you don't pick Baron, you're just an idiot lol. Comment. 5,779. Losers who are scared of losing cash. Don't you understand the situation? This is practically getting money for free. Mid-level 100% versus top-level 75%. Who you should bet on? It's clear as a day. What's wrong with the people who don't pick Baron? Why are they alive? Haha, especially in this situation. Those who try to make money by investing in stocks and such $% carat and carat don't pretend to be patriots. I'm so frustrated that I don't even feel like talking anymore, but I'll give you a warning. Those who pretend to be patriotic are those with good analytical skills and spread rumors about Seong Ji-han, and others will be beaten up without mercy. Self-defense. A lawyer. Baron will pay for it. I am invincible. Baron is a god. Now, take a look at this. I'm going to prove it with a 10 billion won bet on Baron. As Seong Ji-han looked at the screenshot below the text, where he had wagered 1 million GP on Baron, he said, "Oh, he's a good person." And Seong Ji-han was genuinely happy as he looked at it. A good person? That guy? Yoon Seo asked. Yeah, I'm going to take 1 billion from that guy. Somehow, my odds have gone up a bit. They've gone up. Is it because of the recent highlights of Baron that have become a hot topic? Baron's highlight videos. The public had been enthusiastic about the highlight reel of the Grand Magician who had dominated the Bronze League. Although Seong Ji-han had shown an overwhelming performance all along, it seemed that the public was more focused on Baron, perhaps because magic users appeared more spectacular in videos than warriors. And Seong Ji-han was truly grateful for that. Yeah, when you include multiple kills, it's almost 5 times. Wow, they've gone up that much. Yoon Se looked at Seong Ji-han with sparkling eyes. Uncle, I want to. No, don't. I'm sure about this. Seong Ji-han's firm words made Yoon Se pout. She understood his determination not to turn her into a gambling addict, but 5 times. If Seong Ji-han was that confident, if she bet 5 billion, it would be 25 billion. Wasn't he being too unambitious? Fine. If you want to help me, focus on training and don't think about money. So, what's on the agenda for today? 300 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 300 squats, 30 kilometers on the treadmill. Did you do it yet? Not yet. Alright, then let's do it now. Yoon Se nodded as she took a deep breath. The training methods Seong Ji-han had shared to gain rare stats were simple and brutal, but she had no choice but to follow them. I'll go train. Uncle, please turn off the computer. Sure. With Yoon Se leaving the room, Seong Ji-han accessed BattleTube on his computer. He wanted to watch Baron's highlight video that had been mentioned earlier. As he watched the video, Ultimate Mage, Baron Williams. The title referred to him as the Ultimate Mage, and the highlight video focused on Baron's ruthless power. However, Seong Ji-han couldn't help but smile at the sight. As expected, he hasn't changed from last life. The world's #1 ranking in the previous world hadn't changed. From bronze to the top ranks, he was showing off his control that was unmatched. Baron Williams. He was, inherently a balcone. We are now starting the top 100 bronze promotion matches. The top 100 promotion matches began, synchronized with the time of the rank 1 player in the world, the New York Area 1. On August 25th, according to New York's time, it was 6 p.m. With a 13-hour time difference, it was 7 a.m. in Korea on the same day. At the same time, the channels Zero of BattleNet Worldwide began broadcasting the American BattleNet match, as the New York League, which had the power ranking 1, was granted the privilege of broadcasting the worldwide matches. Perhaps because of this, the American BattleNet commentators and casters, who were in high spirits, were passionately conducting the broadcast. So, the top 100 promotion matches of August. The Bronze League is starting, just like usual. This time, the promotion matches for the Bronze League have gained explosive attention compared to usual. Christoph, why is that? Of course. It's because our American rising star, Baron Williams, is participating. Baron. 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 As soon as Baron Williams's name was mentioned, the fans' enthusiastic shouting naturally became the background music. The owner of a SSS rank gift, player Baron Williams, was already gaining popularity, surpassing top stars in America. However, Baron also has a formidable rival. That's right, even though Baron is in the league, there is a player, Seong, from South Korea, who has much better league records. He's a monster who hasn't missed first place in a single game. He hasn't missed first place in a single game? Christopher, is that possible? I've checked the data from 2010 to now. Not a single player has achieved this record. Of course, the level of South Korea's league isn't particularly high, but it's still an amazing record. Boo. 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 Baron's rival. When compliments for Seong Ji-han came out, a chorus of boos naturally followed. The commentators were making good use of America's advantage as the world's first place in the league by conducting a broadcast that balanced neutrality with the direct emotions of American fans. So today, the focus of the bronze promotion matches will be on the key player, Baron, and player Seong Ji-han. Only 5 seconds until match starts. Let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With the system's countdown as the last signal, the War of the Stars, bringing together the top 100 players in the world, had begun. The top 100 promotion matches. It was called the War of the Stars, but in reality, it held no significant meaning for Seong Ji-han. This promotion match was merely a means to complete the epic quest related to the Shadow Queen. He didn't even think it would be difficult. He believed that once he reached level 25 and became a martial force of 30, he could easily clear it by receiving sponsorship from the wandering martial god, just like before. But the situation has changed. The nameless divine arts had been imperfectly passed down, and there he currently had no gift. He couldn't even get the title he should have received, the successor of the god. The only remaining titles were Dominator of the Bronze League and Tutorial Conqueror, with the latter only having an all stats plus 1 effect in the promotion match, and the former not having a particularly powerful effect. Dominator of the Bronze League, a title awarded to players who completely dominate the Bronze League. All stats in Bronze and Silver Leagues increase by +3, and experience gain is increased by 30%. Even though he had expanded the title slots with great effort, the gained effect was merely all stats +3. It wasn't insignificant, but for Seong Ji-han, who had anticipated the title, successor of Martial God, in advance, it was a far cry from the stat boost he needed. That's why I have to go all out in this promotion match. The sound of a horn announcing the battle in the Colosseum echoed. After making up his mind, Seong Ji-han took out an item he had stored in one corner of his inventory. Crystal Fragment, B rank, grants divine blessing to the player once. This item can be used in the Bronze and Silver Leagues. Divine Blessing. It was the highest level buff that increases all stats by more than 50%. Seong Ji-han had received this item as a special reward in the defense map, and it could be used up to the silver rank. However, he had decided to use it this time. Do you want to use the Crystal Fragment item? Yes. For this match only, the player will be granted Divine Blessing. The item, Crystal Fragment, will be consumed. As the crystal fragment disappeared, a brilliant, iridescent light shimmered around Seong Ji-han's body. A golden crown appeared above his head. This was the effect of the highest level buff, Divine Blessing. After the visuals disappeared, Seong Ji-han stretched his body and checked the changes. As expected, the buff that increased all stats by 50% or more was indeed remarkable. That guy is Seong Ji-han. He came to the promotion match in a shirt. Is he in his right mind? The players summoned around Seong Ji-han's position, giving him ominous glances. His equipment was too casual, and he didn't even have any armor. Even if he's strong, he's too careless. What kind of confidence does he have as a middle-level league player? When Seong Ji-han played Survival in Gangnam Area 1, everyone ran away if they spotted him. However, the players participating in the top 100 promotion matches were all mid-tier league players, so instead of fleeing, they seemed to take it as an opportunity. Shuffle. Shuffle. Players cautiously approached Seong Ji-han. They were all strong individuals who had made it into the top 100, and there was no doubt about their skills. However, these days, there are so many helpful people. Seong Ji-han saw them approaching on their own and couldn't help but smile. When he played in Gangnam Area 1, he had been annoyed that players always ran away, but now they were coming to him willingly. How convenient. Seong Ji-han summoned the Phoenix's spear in his hand. The energy of the three Dantian gathered in an instant. With a quick spin, he rotated the Phoenix's spear horizontally above his head, as if he was handling it lightly. However, the aftermath was far from light. Slash. As Seong Ji-han spread out the Phoenix's spear, the bodies of the 7 players were sliced in half simultaneously. Nameless Divine Art, Triad of Martial Mastery, Total Annihilation. The players who had surrounded him were now lying in pieces on the ground. Total Annihilation, despite its grandiose name, was just a horizontal slash in the trade. However, the power of Seong Ji-han's Total Annihilation unleashed by his hand matched its original name. My armor, S-grade armor. One warrior who had surrounded Seong Ji-han stared in disbelief at his own split chest. In the distance, the S-grade armor was torn apart like paper by the spear's rotation. Not only that, but his body was also turning into light. Dying within the first minute of the game. This can't be. With these last words, the warrior disappeared. Seong Ji-han looked around. There were no more players nearby, so the next hunting ground would be. Whoosh! From beyond the stadium, far from where Seong Ji-han was located, a massive flame shot up. It was a powerful fire magic that was hard to imagine a bronze rank mage could unleash. Baron, Indeed, no matter how much of a balcone he was, he still had firepower befitting a player who had ranked first in the world in his previous life. If I don't subdue him quickly, he might take the highest kill count from me. It seemed that for mass slaughter, magic was more efficient. Especially considering that Baron's magic power seemed to be close to gold level. If Seong Jihan left him alone, he might lose out on the highest kill count. Shall I go? Seong Jihan crouched for a moment, and as he lifted his foot. Nameless divine arts footwork technique, flashing sky thunder steps. His body flashed with light and disappeared. Channel Zero's live broadcast mainly focused on Baron's actions, but occasionally, they also showed Seong Jihan. Player Seong. Oh, you used Divine Blessing? Was Divine Blessing possible even in Bronze? It's possible if you have the money. Choosing to use it in the Bronze League, Seong must be rich. But his equipment is, too. He came to the promotion match in a shirt. He could have used the money for Divine Blessing to buy some armor. I agree. Even if Baron's flames touched him a little, he might turn into charcoal. Does he want attention that badly? Still, that white spear that player Seong is holding looks impressive. He might have invested the money meant for armor in a weapon. Oh, that's not a spear. It's an arrow, the Phoenix's spear. Player Seong obtained it through a hidden quest in this dungeon. Kristoff, you know a lot. Haha, it's because I'm a fan of Seong. Despite calling himself a fan, commentator Kristoff had simply gathered information in advance for commentary purposes. He was by no means a fan of Seong Jihan. So, is Seong fighting with arrows? Haha. Yes, you could say he practically has no proper weapon. This is unbelievable. Korea's treatment of players is too harsh. While discussing this back and forth, the American commentators laughed at Seong Jihan. However, when Seong Jihan spun the spear above his head, they laughed even harder. Seong. Is he threatening 7 opponents? It's like a porcupine trying to put up its quills. But then, slash, as the 7 players screamed in horror, they were all split in half at once. Time seemed to stand still instead of flowing. Player Seong, he killed 7 of them in a single strike? At least the commentator regained his composure quickly. He commented on Seong Jihan's score. Kristoff. What on earth did Seong do? Well, Kristoff, who had declared himself a fan, couldn't explain Seong Jihan's technique. It was because it was beyond his common sense. Is this still bronze? No, even if it were gold, it couldn't be at this level. I can't believe this. Among the 7 players, there was a warrior equipped with S-grade armor. To cut them down from such a long range in one strike, could Divine Blessing have such a significant effect? No, that's not it. Player Seong doesn't belong to any guild. He doesn't receive guild buffs, so no matter how significant the effect of Divine Blessing is, he shouldn't be able to display that kind of power. What? He doesn't belong to a guild? A player of that caliber? Yes. The live broadcast returned to Baron, but the commentators kept discussing Seong Jihan. He doesn't belong to a guild. Does that mean player Seong is preparing to transfer to a foreign country? It's possible. Oh my god, I guess he's going to receive a lot of love calls from different countries. Yes, today, Seong is showcasing himself properly. In the meantime, Seong Jihan obtained another kill. Already 10 kills. Baron was also using his signature skill, the Fire Wave, but he was lagging behind with only 6 kills. Baron. He burns down the orc core with Fire Wave, adding 3 kills. Now he has 12 kills. Seong's spear technique. What kind of technique is that? Once he swings it, everyone is split in half. He achieved 15 kills. In the top 100 promotion match, the focus was now solely on Baron and Seong Jihan. Other players had long become supporting roles whose only purpose was to increase the two's kill count. Either they were torn apart by Seong Jihan's spear, or they were incinerated by Baron's Fire Wave. The scores showed that while Seong Jihan was leading, Baron was gradually catching up. At this rate, Baron might reclaim the top spot. However, tension still lingered in the voices of the American commentators. Baron is rapidly catching up to Seong in kills. Kristoff. The direction Seong is running in, it really looks like. Yes, it seems to be in Baron's direction. Seong, he's running at an unbelievable speed, like lightning. Baron, you need to prepare for him quickly. Seong Jihan, who had been in the southwestern part of the arena, and Baron, in the northeastern part, were still in their original positions. Baron continued to unleash his Fire Wave without moving, and the reinforced fire magic overlapped multiple times, turning that area into a hellish inferno. If he continued to use magic like this, the entire arena would be engulfed in flames. Most players tried their best to escape from that inferno by any means necessary. Who could resist against waves of flames that shot up more than 10 meters high? It was a dire situation for players who had reached the top 100 in the world. In survival games, the first priority was not getting killed. Whoa, this is insane. sh*t, is this still bronze? Kuhuk, run. In the face of that volcanic eruption like natural disaster, monsters and players alike were frantically fleeing. But there was one exception. Seong Ji-han, instead, ran toward the origin of the flames. As expected, Seong Ji-han grinned while looking at the overwhelming mana pouring down on him. He still doesn't know how to handle force. His phoenix's spear swept horizontally. Nameless divine art, triad of martial mastery, total annihilation. Then, the wave of fire that seemed like it could swallow the world. Split in half. What the hell? Baron couldn't believe the current situation. First place. Seong Ji-han 20 kills, no affiliation. Second place. Baron 17 kills, American first, I'm in second place. Ever since acquiring the force, he had never been knocked from the first rank. During the top 100 promotion match, where he should be showcasing his brilliance to the world, he hadn't imagined he'd be pushed back by some Asian. He had heard rumors but hadn't realized they'd be this accurate. Baron, this is information on the only player who could potentially threaten you during the promotion match. Please review it when you have time. When the guild manager presented data on the player named Seong Ji-han. A middle-level league player threatened me. Manager, you underestimate me. Discard this info and bring me the contract we signed with Nike. Understood. Baron remembered scoffing and discarding the information. The name Seong Ji-han. He had heard it once and thought he'd never hear about him again. But now, he's ahead of me. Should I have looked into who he was back then? No. Baron gritted his teeth. I am Baron Williams, the chosen Grand Mage with an SSS rank gift. Do I need to be wary of that punk? Right. It was unlike him to be so frail-minded. Fire wave. A massive wave of fire spread from his fingertips, engulfing the entire arena. The opponent was making quite a fuss, but surely he couldn't stand against a fire wave enhanced by the force. He would burn all his enemies and secure first place. It had to be that way. But then, what the swish? The opponent's single strike split the wave of fire. Not just the fire wave, but the space Baron controlled with his force was sliced in half. His shock was momentary. Baron maximized his force. He hadn't yet discerned the nature of the attack, but he couldn't let his guard down. Screech. His expanding force pushed back against Seong Ji-han's sword, clashing evenly. Despite his full effort, the situation remained a stalemate. By Baron's knowledge, such an attack was impossible in the Bronze League. What in the world was this monstrous attack? But still, I'm holding him off. Though he was losing ground, his immediate surroundings, his absolute domain, remained intact. Right, no matter how powerful the attack, it shouldn't breach this absolute domain. Baron sighed in relief, peering through the parted flames at a figure. A man in a white shirt, an Asian, holding a white spear, looked back at him with ease. That's Seong Ji-han. He'd underestimated him, dismissing him as just another player from a middle-level Korean league, but he'd managed to harness such power. Baron bit his lip, increasing his force. The opponent must have exerted himself with that incredible attack. He had to end this with his strongest spell, more rapid and potent than any other magic. Lightning. From Baron's hand, a devastating lightning strike shot out. Baron Williams. To Seong Ji-han, the 2020 version of him seemed like a mere child compared to before his regression. Well, when comparing, it's almost the same. Seeing his fire wave split in half, Baron was flustered and hurriedly tried to cast his next spell. In his current state, he was far from calm. What a waste of talent. SSS rank gist, my status window x2. Despite ascending to the top with such a marvelous gift, he still couldn't have full control over his potential and became one of the reasons for humanity's downfall. Seong Ji-han's gaze moved past Baron to the audience stands. There, a dark elf with black eyes silently stared back at him. A being presumed to be the Shadow Queen, whose gaze would fall on the first place when the match starts. She knew I'd win. As expected, she has foresight. Seong Ji-han smiled and prepared his Phoenix's arrow in a throwing stance.
Phoenix's arrow disappears after 5 throws, right?
Until now, there was no need to throw it, but this time was different. Not just Baron, but to break through the sturdy barrier around the arena, he had to give it his all.
White flames rose from the Phoenix's arrow that Seong Ji-han held.
Nameless divine arts, triad of martial mastery, way of immortals. Way of Immortals, the technique optimized for pinpoint strikes. While the methods of stabbing and throwing were different, they shared the same trajectory, making it a suitable martial art.
Whoosh! The Phoenix's arrow was soon engulfed in white flames, but the flame was just enough to barely cover the spear.
It looked quite different from when the Conqueror's statue used it in the Conqueror's tomb. Lightning. Ironically, Baron's lightning spell, using all of his force, looked overwhelmingly more powerful.
Thick and radiant currents of electricity, in dozens, if not hundreds, rushed towards Seong Ji-han. Sheik. From Seong Ji-han's hand, the Phoenix's arrow flew. The white flame, released a moment later than Baron's lightning, was so small it seemed it could be easily swallowed up.
Yet, Baron's face contorted with dread. I can't stop it. To Baron, the moment lightning touched the Phoenix's arrow, it felt as if time stopped. The compression of magic energy was on another level. Trying to stop that with his magic was like trying to break a rock with an egg. The absolute domain is crumbling. Soon, the Phoenix's arrow was upon him.
The absolute domain controlled by the force felt like it had vanished.
It was too late to dodge the spear, but there's still hope.
Baron put his hope in the force's absolute domain. The invincible domain, about 4 meters wide, which had never been breached before.
If it stops it just once, he could then use magic consecutively and suppress that Asian.
Please. With that, Baron pinned his last hope on his absolute domain. Without sparing any of his strength, he poured all of his force into the absolute domain intending to stop the arrow.
Sheik. For a moment, it seemed like the Phoenix's arrow had halted in midair, just as he had hoped.
But that was only for a split second. The duration for which Baron's prized absolute domain could stop the Phoenix's arrow was only that moment. His dominating force was torn apart. Whoosh. Goo.
Baron, engulfed by the Phoenix's arrow, was incinerated in an instant. The genius American mage, Baron Williams, whom the entire world expected to win, was slain by Seong Ji-han's single strike. On the other hand, Seong Ji-han clicked his tongue after witnessing this. He still can't handle the force properly, just as he expected. If you don't have time to cast a protective spell, you should focus all your force to defend as much as possible instead of strengthening the absolute domain. Baron's reliance on force without actively responding and ending up dead was not a matter of control, but a matter of will. If he focused on stopping the arrow, he could have done it.
Well, with first place now firmly secured, Seong Ji-han looked past Baron to the Phoenix's arrow continuing its trajectory.
Now it was time for the real target, to break the arena's barrier. Holy Shishahem. Baron's firewave is split in half.
Player Seong. The arrow even sliced those 4 players who were dodging the fire wave, adding 4 kills.
Channel Zero's focus had shifted from Baron to Seong Ji-han. Seeing Seong Ji-han cleave through the massive firewave, commentator Christoph felt a chill down his spine.
Though among all classes, mages had the most visually impressive performances, Seong Ji-han's martial arts, which sliced through it with a single spear, gave him goosebumps.
I might actually become a fan. He had claimed to be a fan of Seong Ji-han just for lip service not long ago. But after watching his performance in this promotion match, his opinion was changing.
No matter how much Seong Ji-han was seen as Baron's rival, he couldn't help but be excited by his display.
And then, player Seong has thrown his spear at Baron.
It's carrying a bright white flame. From the look of it,
Only from the look. Baron's lightning is splitting apart. Oh my god. Baron's absolute defense is shattering. Things took an even more unbelievable turn. Baron Williams was praised as America's top prospect not just because of the power of his force, but also because of the strong barrier that always surrounded him, blocking all attacks. No bronze player in America had ever landed a significant hit on Baron. Yet, that sturdy shield shattered in an instant, and then Bob Baron. He's been defeated, he's eliminated. The voices of American commentators echoed in despair. And while shockwaves of horror erupted across the United States. Lee Haeyeon, who was watching the top 100 promotion match at home, looked just as stunned. Thud. It can't be, thinking about the money she bet on Baron, and seeing him die so effortlessly. She looked dazed. Seong Ji-han even warned me twice by text. True. The first bet on the Korea-Japan match seemed unbelievable, but for the second, she should have bet on Seong Ji-han. 100% win rate. No one on Battle.net had such a record. Even if Baron was Seong Ji-han's rival. Betting on Baron instead of Seong Ji-han, who showed such an overwhelming performance, was plain stupid. She should have listened. Lee Haeyeon pulled at her hair in frustration. After blaming herself for a while, player Seong's Phoenix's arrow isn't stopping. It's about to hit the barrier. What? What on earth? The shouts of the American commentators reached Lee Haeyeon's ears. Oh. What now? And then, she forced herself to look up at the TV. Now, like a personal channel, Channel 0 was solely focused on Seong Ji-han. What's that? Watching the screen, Lee Haeyeon's eyes trembled uncontrollably. What's going on? The barrier surrounding the Colosseum was completely shattered. And in the space where the barrier once stood, instead of the elf spectators, a lightless void swayed like a night sea. The ominous darkness began to creep into the sunlit arena. A bizarre phenomenon where darkness pushed away the light. Seong Ji-han gathered his internal energy. An overwhelming magical power that's imperceptible, defeating her is impossible. Even if he possessed martial power and force, it would be impossible to defeat the power of the Shadow Queen at his current level. However, I don't need to defeat her. Seong Ji-han recalled the content of the epic quest. Find the Shadow Queen located near the spectators in the Colosseum map and provoke her. The quest he received wasn't about fighting the Shadow Queen, but rather, finding and provoking her. Although it seemed he had identified the Shadow Queen. The quest hasn't been completed, I haven't provoked her yet. How could he provoke the Shadow Queen? Throwing the Phoenix's arrow into the darkness again would be ineffective. While Seong Ji-han was deep in thought, the Phoenix's arrow, which he had launched towards the barrier, suddenly returned to his hand. Even after entering that darkness, the arrow's return feature remains intact. Though the Phoenix's arrow always returns to its owner, he thought its effect might be nullified due to the potent darkness. Whether it was allowed by the Shadow Queen or not, the arrow continued to emit a brilliant white light. As Seong Ji-han channeled energy into the Phoenix's arrow, the bright white light intensified, illuminating the encroaching darkness. It was then that he felt a subtle movement beneath his feet. Looking down, he noticed his elongated shadow morphing into a peculiar shape. The head of the shadow had transformed into the shape of a sword. Simultaneously, the sword-like shadow suddenly lunged, attempting to pierce Seong Ji-han. But he, who had been alert since the shadow began to form, easily dodged the attack. The sword-shaped shadow dissipated, losing its form. However, after a brief moment, it began to morph back into the sword shape. The shadow is being infused with a foreign power. This could be endless. Moreover, the external darkness continued to flood into the arena. I need to assess the situation first. Seong Ji-han decided to retreat. Just as he was about to use the flashing sky thunder steps, he felt a slight current run through his legs. The rate of the shadow's transformation slowed. Electrical currents work. Once more, he deliberately channeled the electrical energy from the flashing sky thunder steps into the ground. The shadow was noticeably paralyzed. Even if I can suppress the energy flowing into the shadow, it won't completely disappear. No matter how much Seong Ji-han tried to neutralize the foreign energy with his electrical currents, it didn't vanish entirely. I'll leave it as it is for now. Having made up his mind, Seong Ji-han cast flashing sky thunder steps to search for other players. The arena was in chaos. What's with these shadows? Ah, help! Screams of players echoed everywhere. Unlike Seong Ji-han, who had managed to suppress his shadow, other players were helplessly attacked by their own sword-shaped shadows. Attempts to block the attacks with shields or protective magic were futile. For some reason, the shadows ignored the players' defenses and instantly took their lives. The number of survivors rapidly dwindled. Only 5 survivors remain. The top 100 promotion match will soon end. Upon seeing the system message, Seong Ji-han felt a sense of urgency. I haven't completed the epic quest yet. How could he provoke the Shadow Queen? He looked around. After he broke a part of the barrier, the whole barrier in the arena had been deactivated, and darkness continued to spill in from all sides. 4 players were surviving in the center of the arena, apparently unaffected by the shadows, at least for now. However, their own shadows squirmed ominously, indicating an imminent threat. I need to save them first. With a swish, Seong Ji-han used the Thunderbolt step to its full potential, quickly approaching the survivors. What's happening? One warrior, startled by Seong Ji-han's swift approach, tried to use a skill, but Seong Ji-han effortlessly parried him and simultaneously stepped on his shadow, sending electric currents into it. The sword-shaped shadow vanished, returning to its normal state, leaving the warrior stunned and confused. Why is he helping me? Seong Ji-han then proceeded to rescue the other 3 in the same manner, placing them all in the center of the arena. The 4 players, turned to stone by shock, could only blink and stare at Seong Ji-han, wondering about his motives. Seong Ji-han, however, didn't pay them any mind and instead focused on the encroaching darkness. He had observed that while the darkness seemed uniform, there were definite power hierarchies within. To verify this, he sent electric currents into the 5 shadows, including his own. This was not to completely suppress the shadows, but to observe from which direction the foreign power flowed. Soon, he felt a peculiar energy extending from the northeastern darkness. The shadows, which had been paralyzed by his electrical currents, began to recover rapidly. That's the spot. It was clear. The Shadow Queen was located where he had broken the barrier. Now that he had pinpointed her location, all he needed to do was strike and provoke her. However, even with the triad of martial mastery, reaching the Shadow Queen was a challenge. While martial arts were powerful, the opponent was exceptionally unconventional. Yet, among the martial arts he could use, there was one that could exploit the Shadow Queen's vulnerability to electrical currents. The Phoenix's arrow blazed anew, this time not only with white flames but also with blue electric currents. Although I haven't fully mastered the nameless divine technique, it wasn't a skill registered in his system, but his body remembered it well. From the nameless divine technique, Seong Ji-han deployed the most suitable technique for this situation. Nameless divine arts, divine thunder decree, striking thunderbolt. The arena was filled with the roaring sound of thunder and the brilliant light of the Phoenix's arrow, ready to strike. Striking thunderbolt, which was best suited for countering darkness and evil, was too high-leveled for the current Seong Ji-han. Even if he had fully learned it from the wandering martial god, he wouldn't have been able to unleash its full potential. If I'm lacking, I'll borrow from the Phoenix's arrow. The Phoenix's arrow, an item that disappeared after 5 uses, held a formidable power rivaling that of SS rank, setting aside its limitations on uses. Thus, Seong Ji-han drew the power he needed from it. His hand, holding the Phoenix's arrow, was engulfed in flames, unable to withstand the heat. A side effect of using an advanced martial art without the support of the nameless divine technique. Despite the excruciating pain, Seong Ji-han smirked as thunder roared from the arrow. Success. He took a stance to throw the arrow. Every muscle in his upper body tensed, his shoes digging into the ground from the immense force. Then, with a sonic boom, he threw the Phoenix's arrow, which split the darkness like a bolt of lightning. As the darkness receded, a dark elf with black eyes, presumably the Shadow Queen, appeared, standing right in the path of the Phoenix's arrow. But just as the arrow was about to pierce her, it halted abruptly in front of her. The dark elf chanted in an unknown language, and the arrow's flames and electric currents began to wane, slowly reverting it to its original form. It seemed Seong Ji-han's desperate attack would go to waste. However, in that split second, a white lightning bolt grazed the dark elf's cheek. It was the secondary lightning strike from the striking thunderbolt. Although he couldn't release the full power of the striking thunderbolt, resulting in a delayed attack, it worked in his favor. The dark elf's cheek showed a brief scorch mark before healing instantly. Though she barely took any damage, Seong Ji-han's objective was achieved. You have provoked the Shadow Queen. You have cleared the epic quest. You have been rewarded 50,000 achievement points. It was enough for Seong Ji-han, as his sole intent was to provoke the Shadow Queen. The dark elf, with her black eyes, spoke in an unknown language and extended her hand. The surrounding darkness quickly vanished, converging into a massive black sword that stretched from her hand to the end of the sky. Simultaneously, the shadows of all living players started to go wild. They had been suppressed by Seong Ji-han's electric currents, but now with the dark elf exerting her full power, there was no stopping them. With a shrieking sound, the shadows bound the player's arms and legs. The climax of the battle had begun, and the true power of the Shadow Queen was about to be unleashed. Bound to a metaphorical execution stand, Seong Ji-han and the other players were rendered completely defenseless. In this state, they would undoubtedly fall to a single strike, and anyone could tell that Seong Ji-han would be the first to face the axe. His first rank in the promotion match was at stake. However, even in such dire straits, a smile never left Seong Ji-han's lips. "I'm sorry, but I can't afford to die here." Suddenly, players behind him gasped in pain. One by one, they started to disintegrate into light, until only Seong Ji-han remained. The dark elf's eyes widened in surprise. She had thought she had Seong Ji-han completely restrained. How was it possible for the other players to perish in front of her, a being of overwhelming power? "See you next time," Seong Ji-han whispered. "You have won the top 100 promotion match. You will log out in 5 seconds. Before the 5 seconds elapsed, the massive dark sword, aimed to split Seong Ji-han in two, swung down. But, with an unexpected twist, Seong Ji-han managed to dodge the brunt of the attack. He couldn't avoid it completely, and his left arm was severed, falling to the ground. Still, in his mind, he thought, that was a close one. Even amidst the pain of losing an arm, Seong Ji-han logged out with a sly grin on his face. "The throne, Shadow Queen, takes an interest in you. Shadow of the Sun embeds itself in your left arm." He logged out without seeing the last system message. "You have won the top 100 promotion battle. You have received 1 million GP as a reward. Your level increases by 5. You have acquired the title, King Among Kings, Bronze." Upon returning from the match, a plethora of system messages awaited Seong Ji-han. Indeed, that's how it should be for top 100. The reward was substantial, fitting for the grand title of being the top player among all bronze rankers worldwide. As he went through the list of rewards, Seong Ji-han took note of the new title he received. King Among Kings, Bronze. A title given to those who win the top 100 promotion match. In the Silver League, all attributes increase by +5, and experience gain is increased by 50%. It was essentially an upgraded version of the Dominator of the Bronze League title. Finally, I can let go of the Conqueror of the Tutorial title. Seong Ji-han switched his title and continued checking the system messages. You have placed first in the top 100 promotion match. You have cleared the special achievement, winning the top 100 promotion match. You have received 90,000 achievement points as a reward. You have won in the top 100 promotion match without any gift. You have cleared the special achievement, rank 1 without a gift. You have received 50,000 achievement points as a reward. Should I be thankful to the wandering martial god? He had already earned 90,000 achievement points since the martial god took away his F-rank gift. Particularly, the achievement of winning the top 100 without a gift was as impressive as the rewards from the epic quest. This clearly showed how difficult it was to reach this point without a gift. How should I use this, as Seong Ji-han pondered how to utilize the pouring rewards. Bang! Uncle! The door flew open, and Yoon Se rushed in. Her face was fraught with concern, her complexion pale. Seiya, I just got back, let me see." Before he could finish, she began inspecting him. After ensuring he was all right, a relieved Yoon Se asked him about what happened. "I thought something major happened. The screen turned all dark after you broke the barrier. Are you okay?" "Of course. I'm perfectly fine." He had been cut by the shadow sword, but that was a common injury in BattleNet. Moreover, since BattleNet was similar to an online game, there were no repercussions in reality. "Look, even my shirt is intact." Seong Ji-han showed his hands. While the right arm, which had used Thunderclap Flash, was restored with the shirt, the left arm that was severed by the towering dark sword. "Uncle, this part is cut." From the elbow, the shirt was gone, revealing bare skin. "That's..." Seong Ji-han's eyes narrowed. Did the cut from the constellation have some effect even in the real world? At least only his shirt disappeared, and not the entire arm. But that relief was short-lived. Uncle, your arm, why is it like that?" Seong Ji-han's left arm started turning a dark shade, eventually disappearing as if consumed by darkness. However, he could still feel his arm. "It doesn't feel like it's gone. I think I can still move it." As he tried to move his left arm, suddenly, whoosh! Suddenly, from the midst of the darkness, his left arm emerged, seemingly unscathed. Wah, what? Your arm's back. Yeah, it feels normal to me. Uncle? There's a strange tattoo on your elbow. A tattoo? Upon Yoon Se's observation, Seong Jihan turned his arm and indeed, a black tattoo was engraved on his elbow. On closer inspection, it was a pattern resembling a sun. And its edges writhed as if alive. During their silent contemplation of this unexpected development, an indecipherable sound emanated from the tattoo. It was a language similar to what the dark elf with black eyes had spoken. Seiya, do you hear this sound? Huh? What sound? It was a sound that only Seong Jihan could hear. It was frustrating for him as he couldn't decipher the message. Reflecting his sentiments, a system window appeared before his eyes. Shadow of the sun, curse, rank, cursed state. A terminal of the constellation, Shadow Queen, it's cursed and imprinted on your body. Until the cursed state is lifted, it will absorb the user's GP and experience points. Shadow of the sun? Was it brought in when my arm was severed? Just by the description, it was a terrible curse absorbing the user's experience points and GP, which are the foundation for any player. It was unclear how the curse would change once the absorption was complete, but he didn't want to lose his experience and GP at this crucial time. And he couldn't just cut off his arm. He tried sending his divine power to the elbow, but the dark sun merged with his energy, unaffected. Seong Jihan reviewed the previous message again. The format of the message was similar to item descriptions. So, he deduced that the shadow of the sun was treated as an item. Then, can I use the emergency restore? He bought and used the emergency restore from the achievement store. As expected, the shadow of the sun was activated in the emergency restore list. Good. He had many achievement points from this round, so he could afford to spend 10,000 on this. Emergency restore. Restoring the shadow of the sun curse. The shadow of the sun curse is too strong, only a portion has been restored. One time won't do. Unlike the Oriental brush or Hermes monocle, it wasn't completely restored with one use, given this was a curse from a constellation. He decided to try again, purchasing and using another emergency restore. Restoring the shadow of the sun curse. The shadow of the sun curse is too strong, only a portion has been restored. Seong Jihan frowned. One last time. He had already spent twice, but he didn't want to give up. Thinking of this as the last attempt, he used the emergency restore again. Restoring the shadow of the sun curse. The curse of the shadow of the sun has been lifted. Shadow of the sun. Rank. SS. A terminal of the constellation Shadow Queen. Maintains a connection with the constellation, enhancing shadow control abilities. Can be transformed into the shadow sword, Eclipse. Through the power of the constellation, Shadow Queen, its rank can be increased. In the tutorial period, the terminal of the constellation feature is restricted. Seeing the newly revealed item description, Seong Jihan's eyes settled. Its rank was SS, and it had the potential to rank up with the powers of the constellation. At a glance, it looked like a valuable item, but it's a half-baked item. Using this item was contingent on the utilization of the shadow control ability. And to obtain the shadow control ability, a connection with the constellation was essential. But the terminal of the constellation function was restricted during the tutorial period. I might have to wait until next year. If that was the case, there was no need to spend 30,000 achievement points immediately. As Seong Jihan pondered this while looking at the black sun, a voice echoed. What did he just do? The language of the dark elf, which had been incomprehensible so far, was suddenly translated automatically. You can hear me? Meanwhile, in the broadcast room for the Bronze League's Top 100 promotion match, chaos ensued. There's a black screen. At some point, the broadcast screen was engulfed in darkness, and transmission ceased. Even when we switch to the first-person view of the player, it's still like this. This is unprecedented in BattleNet broadcasting. What is happening? It shouldn't be possible. The BattleNet system should be overseeing this. The commentators' voices echoed, but the screen remained dark, showing nothing. Christoph, with the screen like this, what will happen to the match results? I don't know. This is a first. Elsewhere, Lee Haeyeon, who was watching from home, was on the verge of a breakdown. What's happening? She had bet a significant sum on Baron. And with Baron's downfall, Seong Ji-han had to win to recover at least some of the money. But now, she had no idea what was happening inside, making it impossible to predict the game's outcome. He could have ended the game. Why did he save other players and leave them in the shadows? Did he not intend to win? Unaware of Seong Ji-han's epic quest, Lee Hae-yeon couldn't understand his actions. As she stared blankly at the black screen, minutes seemed to pass. The last survivor, Seong Ji-han. Suddenly, a brief system message appeared on the dark screen. Whatever had transpired in the darkness, Seong Ji-han had emerged as the victor. Phew, Lee Hae-yeon finally let out a sigh of relief. She was saved. Fortunately, she had at least recovered some money. The American commentator's voice then caught her attention. We don't know what happened, but player Seong Ji-han has emerged as the winner of the top 100 and graduated from the Bronze League. Given that he's not affiliated with any guild and has shown such strength, there's bound to be a fierce recruitment race for him. Yes. I'll bet my 5-year commentary career on this. We need to recruit this player in the US, regardless of the cost. I hope the government will take action. Our negotiation team probably left to approach him the moment the game ended. Let's wait and see. In an instant, Lee Hae-yeon's expression hardened. Now that she had secured some money, her mindset shifted back to that of the guildmaster of Divergent Guild. Come to think of it, Ji-han did a promotional stunt on a global scale. A player who could overpower Baron, who has an SSS grade gift, and even pierce the arena barrier. And at this point, when countries are scrambling to recruit top players for next year? Considering Seong Ji-han's value, Lee Hae-yeon felt dizzy. Can Divergent Guild recruit him? Divergent Guild was respectable domestically, but on a global scale, there were limitations. It's going to be tough, and as she feared, BattleNet departments from various countries, having watched the match, were now hustling to reel in the big fish, Seong Ji-han. Leading the charge was Japan, which had shown interest in him from early on. In the executive meeting room of the Japanese Neo Self-Defense Force. What do you think? In the meeting room filled with the top members of the Neo Self-Defense Force, Takeda Kazuo, the recruitment manager of the new self-defense forces, passionately put forth his perspective. Even though he hasn't revealed his status window, he has proven his capabilities in the top 100. The last survivor, Seong Ji-han. As Takeda pointed at the displayed message on the monitor, a murmur of agreement spread through the room. I reiterate, for Seong Ji-han, even without his status data, we should use that method. Certainly, he's a remarkable talent, but I think we should wait. If we recruit someone who hasn't revealed their gift and he doesn't grow as expected, what will we do? I agree with that. And that technique should be used for a player who can become an immediate force, like the Sword King. I believe Takeda is right. At a glance, that player's potential is tremendous. He surely possesses a talent equivalent to the Sword King. No, he's just in Silver League now. Isn't it too wasteful to use that method? Just throw money at him. Hey, do you think we can outbid the Americans in a money war? A heated debate ensued among the leaders of the Neo Self-Defense Force. The sentiment was divided, a stark contrast to earlier when they dismissed the idea of using that method, without seeing Seong Ji-han's status window. Takeda, watching the debate with a pained expression, turned his gaze to the most senior individual in the room. Defense Minister, what are your thoughts? The Defense Minister, Japan's equivalent to Korea's Minister of National Defense, after silently observing the discussion, dropped a bombshell. As soon as the match ended, I received a message from the goddess. The goddess, all eyes were on him. The special technique they were referring to was under the purview of the goddess. She mentioned her connection with Sword King and said she would send an avatar to him. Oh, I see. Then there was no need for this debate. Exactly. But for the goddess to take the initiative without our request. The Neo Self-Defense Force leaders tilted their heads. The goddess they knew wasn't this proactive. It was rare for her to make the first move. Does he hold such value? It was unclear what the goddess saw in the Korean player, but it was certainly unusual. While the officers were re-evaluating their stance on Seong Ji-han, the defense minister spoke again. Takeda. Yes. While he's active in Korea, prepare to welcome the goddess. Even if it's just an avatar, she's still a deity. Ensure everything is done respectfully. Yes, understood. Takeda bowed deeply, his voice filled with excitement. With the goddess stepping in, it settled. Takeda's eyes sparkled with intense anticipation. Can you hear me now? I can. I see. Can you understand what I'm saying? Of course. I am an avatar of a constellation. I can easily understand the languages of lower beings. Uncle, Yoon Seiya, standing beside him, gave a curious look. Pointing at the black sun, Seong Jihan tried to explain, it might be hard to understand, but it can talk to me. Really? Are you feeling okay? Can you recognize me? Don't worry, I'm not hallucinating. Okay, just tell me if something's wrong. I'll be outside. As Yoon Seiya left the room, the voice from the black sun spoke again. I have a question. What is it? Why did the players behind you in the promotion match die? The main body is curious. Seong Jihan smirked. She'd tied them up, and was curious about how he'd killed them. I'll tell you if you answer my question, agreed. Seong Jihan then revealed, I pre-severed the blood vessels of their hearts. Hearts, yes. I just connected them with the force of my chi. In case he successfully provoked the Shadow Queen and she attacked, Jihan had prepared a fail-safe mechanism. By severing the connected blood vessels of the 4 players he'd kept alive, he ensured their immediate death if chi was unavailable, thus securing his top position. Just that led to their deaths? Yes. So they weren't just lower beings, but the lowest of the low. The tone of the voice grew even colder. No matter how irregular, to think they're the lowest of beings. Lowest? It's been decided. The main body will not support you. The black sun said in an arrogant manner, but Seong Jihan just chuckled. Has it been decided that the species known as human is useless? A constellation's support would certainly have its advantages, but it would also come with a price. And he wasn't desperate. With the end of the tutorial, many constellations would rush to offer their support. There was no need to rush and regret later. His current aim was different. Wandering Martial God. He needed information from the same constellation regarding the strange behavior of the Wandering Martial God, who was acting completely different from his last life. That's enough. Now it's your turn to answer my question. The voice hesitated for a moment, asked quickly. My connection with the main body will soon be severed. It's simple. What do you know about the Wandering Martial God? At Seong Jihan's question, the Shadow Queen was momentarily speechless. Do you not know anything? Is he really a martial god, not a war god? Yes, a martial god. Not a martial god, but the martial god. There are numerous war gods among the stars, but only one martial god. Are you sure about your description? The voice, previously calm, now sounded anxious, urging him to confirm. Yes, I'm sure. If it's the martial god, it changes everything. Yes, it's martial god. Now, please answer my question. The main body urgently asks if the power beyond your league is also related to the martial god. I was the one who asked. Suddenly, a black aura emitted from the black sun on his left arm. The aura condensed into a small, semi-transparent figure resembling a dark elf. Dark elf. It's Ariel. This Ariel, with its cute yet eerie features, seemed distinct from the usual elegant elves. Only the main body can answer about the martial god. It's trying to connect to you, but it needs GP, about 10 million. A system message popped up asking him to confirm the transfer of 10 million GP. Would you like to provide 10 million GP to Shadow of the Sun, Ariel? 10 million GP. 10 billion won. That's the exact amount he earned from his recent top rank. Spend all that just to hear about the Wandering Martial God? That won't be necessary. Tell me after the tutorial. Ariel persisted. If you connect, a constellation, Shadow Queen, will directly sponsor you. A constellation has chosen you. Seong Jihan smirked. Just moments ago, they seemed disinterested, but now, mentioning the Wandering Martial God changed everything. Choosing me? I'm the one who chooses. He was in control here, not them. What did you say? If you want to be my constellation, propose an interesting condition. Is this a joke? From a lower being? And the 10 million GP? Isn't it just a small amount for a constellation? Invest in me, don't ask for it? Ariel tried to argue, we can't interfere from outside in the tutorial world. But you're here, aren't you? That's a special case. Seong Jihan cut her off. I'm not interested. Ariel blinked in surprise. Are you serious? Yes. Really, truly. You might regret it. I won't repeat myself. I see. Then, it's goodbye. With that, Ariel began to dissipate. But as she was fading, a bright white light flashed. The main body? Ariel seemed completely startled. Actively cooperate? With a lower being? Really, the main body? Ariel mumbled to herself, growing clearer and even doubling in size. I'll follow the command. Ariel, now fully formed, looked disgruntled. What happened? The main body asks you about cooperating. A constellation said that? Seong Jihan recalled information about constellations. These entities, the masters of the stars, were typically arrogant and looked down on humans. Especially given that Earth was at risk of being relegated from the Space League, Bronze, so, except for the wandering martial god, the constellations mainly exploited players. Yet, now one of them was extending a unilateral favor. Was the wandering martial god such a significant entity? Regardless, he wouldn't decline the cooperation. Well, at least the constellation has some sense. Having a lower being as my master, enough with the complaints. Tell me about your abilities. A system message appeared. The avatar of the constellation, Shadow Queen. Ariel grants you the Shadow Sword stat. Your status window is almost full. Would you like to accept the Shadow Sword stat? If you accept, you won't be able to add any new stats. Most of his status window was filled with force and martial strength. If he accepted Shadow Sword, it would occupy the last 2 lines. If there wasn't an option to expand the status window in the achievement shop, I would have reconsidered. He decided to accept the stat. The Shadow Sword stat has been created. Alright, Shadow Sword. What is this ability? It allows you to manipulate shadows, turning them into swords. Recalling the promotion match where players' shadows became swords, Seong Jihan understood the ability. So, it's literally a sword made from a shadow. Moreover, it's possible to enhance the sulfur monosulfide grade sword, Eclipse. Is it the sword that cut my arm? Yes. The dark sword he witnessed during the top 100 promotion match seemed powerful. I didn't have any weapons worth mentioning until now. This is great. Comparing the consumable Phoenix arrow to the sulfur monosulfide grade Eclipse, the latter was clearly superior. Does the ability to enhance Eclipse mean it can grow beyond sulfur monosulfide grade? Ariel nodded. It can reach X grade. Wow. Beyond SSS grade to a transcendent level. The achievement point shop exchange ticket Seong Jihan received in his regression was also X grade. It had more potential than he thought. So, focus on investing in the Shadow Sword stat. Well, I have other stats to prioritize. Stop bluffing, lower being. The special stat bestowed by a constellation, Shadow Sword, was a rare stat. Ariel was skeptical about any stat surpassing it. Shadow Sword is a rare stat. You, a lower being, might not understand, but it's different from ordinary stats. I know. But what if I have unique stats? Unique? Yes. 2 unique stats and now 1 rare stat. Ariel looked completely baffled. 2 foe them. That's why the rare one is not my priority. That's impossible. Ariel's eyes widened in disbelief. Having unique stats, especially 2, and being in Bronze League was unimaginable. That's the reality. At that moment, suddenly, Uncle, we have a visitor. Wait, is that the dark elf from the arena? Yes, the one on my arm. Wow, that's amazing. Is it your summon? Yoon Sea's words seemed to infuriate Ariel. I am not a mere summon, lower being. You can speak our language. Speaking the language of lower beings like you is easy for me. Why do you keep calling us lower beings? Because you are weak. Seong Jihan, sensing the conversation might escalate, interrupted. Seiya, you said we have a visitor? Yes. I think you should go out quickly. Someone from the BattleNet administration has come. If they're from the BattleNet administration, it must be Manager Park Yoon-sik. Yes, but it's not just him. The director is with him too. The director? Seong Jihan's eyes narrowed. After the departure of the Sword King, the director of BattleNet administration hadn't visited the Sword Palace. Had his thoughts changed after watching the promotion match? Got it. I'll go check. Ariel, wait here. Number your Shadow Sword stat is still too low to maintain my presence for long. I'll return to your arm. With a whoosh, the black aura that formed Ariel dispersed like smoke and was absorbed back into Seong Jihan's arm. If it hadn't been for the unexpected visitor, he would have tested out the Shadow Sword stat further. First, I should greet the guest. Let's go, Seiya. Okay, uncle. Seong Jihan exited his room. Ha ha ha. It's been a while, Mr. Seong Jihan. Remember me? We met when I came looking for the Sword King in the past. The bulky middle-aged man, Kim Namtae, the director of BattleNet administration, extended his hand warmly as soon as he entered the penthouse. It has been a while. Hello, director. Yes, yes. Our Seiya has grown up so beautifully. Let's sit down and talk. Kim Namtae glanced at Yoon Seiya with a cheerful smile and proceeded to the living room. Manager Park Yoon-sik, following behind, gave a slight nod to Seong Jihan. I watched your performance today, truly remarkable. Thank you. However, it hasn't been long since the game ended. Why this sudden visit? Well, the director said he had something urgent to discuss. The director himself. Ah, what a beautiful house. Kim Namtae's voice echoed from the living room. Seong Jihan frowned, wondering why such a man, known to be arrogant, would come to visit him. You said you'd donate this house. It's an amazing house for it to be donated. The director, already sitting at the table in the living room, gestured towards the two. Seong Jihan's brow furrowed even more at his attitude. It was as if he was treating them as his subordinates. The director has a bit of bossy personality. I would appreciate your understanding. Is that so? Seong Jihan looked at manager Park Yoon-sik, relaxed his expression and took his seat opposite Kim Namtae. I came from far away and I'm a bit thirsty. Ah, director. Would you like some orange juice or coffee? Yes, an iced orange juice, please. It's been so hot lately. What about manager and uncle? I'm okay, I'm fine too. In this way, the four seated facing each other at the table with the juice place only in front of director Kim Namtae. Gulp, gulp. After a few sips of his juice, the director addressed Seong Jihan. You've done remarkably well recently, especially after the Sword King left, leaving our nation in a lull. Even though you're just in bronze, your victory in the top 100 promotion match has made the citizens very happy. Seong Jihan noticed the emphasis on just in bronze, but took the compliment graciously. Thank you for your kind words. We have some good news for you. What news? We've decided to award you a commendation for excellent performance. Seong Jihan was taken aback. All this fuss for a mere commendation. Still, he nodded in appreciation. Thank you. Of course. It's unprecedented for a newly ranked silver player to receive one. It's truly an honor. With a commendation that could not be sold, Kim Namtae showed all sorts of condescension. He kept making long speeches about what an honor this commendation was, to the point that not only Seong Jihan, who heard it like that, but also manager Park Yoon-sik, who followed along, felt uncomfortable. By the way, but the director's demeanor suddenly shifted. There's a small issue regarding your commendation. What issue? I've heard you had some trouble with Korea Daily. You might want to mend fences. They have significant influence in the industry. Kim Namtae, the director of the BattleNet administration, who discussed this, recalled an incident from a few days ago. Director, my son was assaulted by Seong Jihan. At a reception hosted by the CEO of an advertising agency affiliated with Korea Daily, the atmosphere got heated after a few drinks. What? Assaulted? What are you talking about? My son is a silver-ranked warrior, but somehow, because of some strange technique Seong Jihan used, his leg was completely broken. They say it will take months of rehabilitation. I'd like to sue, but... The CEO sighed deeply. Seong Jihan is rising in fame. Engaging in a legal battle might tarnish our company's image. That could be the case. Thus, we propose that we take over Seong Jihan's management to settle this amicably. Kim Namtae narrowed his eyes. What do you mean? Just because of the assault, you want to take over managing a player like Seong Jihan? Until then, Kim Namtae had staunchly defended Seong Jihan, considering him a golden egg-laying goose. However, the CEO's proposal changed everything. Of course, we are not just asking for help. We'll share the profits with you. Profits? This changed the dynamics? Seong Jihan. That guy doesn't have a backbone. Kim Namtae thought of Seong Jihan as a nobody riding on the coattails of the Sword King. He'll obviously do as told if an adult speaks, he thought confidently. But the CEO's insinuation about Yoon Seiya's weak gift amplified his conviction. I am sharing this in the hope that it will be of help in your persuasion. Was it Yoon Seiya? I heard her gift came out to be a low rank. so much so that she doesn't dare to become a player. Asterisk. Korea Daily is the victim of the assault, but they're offering a generous proposal. They'll manage you for 5 years and handle all advertising. Their influence is unmatched. It's a win-win for you. Korea Daily. Yes. You broke the CEO's son's leg, didn't you? They're willing to overlook it and handle your advertising? Such generous people, right? Ha, ha, Seong Ji-han laughed sarcastically, finding the situation absurd. He couldn't believe Kim Namtae had thrown away the memories he spent with them for the CEO of a company who didn't even remember him when he went to America when Korea fell. And that too, for such an insignificant reason. This might actually be a good thing. At this point, Seong Ji-han decided to throw away the concept of politeness. I think you've spoken enough nonsense. What? Manager Kim Namtae blinked in surprise. The sudden shift in the situation had left him disoriented. It wasn't just the informal language that took him aback, but the disdainful look he received, one he had never experienced since becoming the director. What did you just say? I intended to deal with you politely and send you on your way, but you've crossed a line. So, how much did you get from Korea Daily? Taken aback by the sudden change in Seong Ji-han's attitude, Kim Namtae's body quivered in anger. You disrespectful brat. You're the one who lost respect. I don't even want to see your face, so leave my house immediately. With a gesture from Seong Ji-han, Kim Namtae's face turned as red as a beet. How dare a mere player, who isn't even of a high rank, show such disrespect to him, the director of BattleNet administration? Kim Namtae, fuming, said, how dare you? Remember, I've been holding onto the donation from Sword Palace for you. I could have processed it. Is that supposed to shake me? Okay, get out of this house right now? Kim Namtae thought he had made a persuasive threat, but Seong Ji-han responded calmly. I was already planning to leave, so don't make a scene. You, boasting just because you got some attention from the Bronze League. Why does a guy, who's not even at the Bronze League, become a director? If you're a parachute, act like one. I don't even want to talk to you. You, unable to contain his anger, Kim Namtae grabbed a glass of orange juice in front of him. However, before he could throw it at Seong Ji-han, the juice splashed onto his face. Calm down. Seong Ji-han kindly expressed concern for the director's well-being. This crazy kid. Did you use an ability? What ability would a silver rank like me have? I don't know what you're talking about. I was going to cover up the fact that Yoon Seo failed to get a gift. Seo, for a moment. Seong Ji-han looked puzzled, but after glancing at Yoon Seo beside him, he smirked. Seo, did it fail? No, it came out perfectly. Weren't you saying it completely failed and you're taking the university entrance exam? From the director's spiteful remarks, Seong Ji-han could guess where he got his information. Perhaps he had interrogated the security guard who was watching them. Don't worry, it turned out well. Now, please leave. With a gesture from Seong Ji-han, the director floated in the air. What's happening? Let me down. At that moment, manager Park Yoon-sik, who had been restless, quickly stood up. Let me escort him out. Park Yoon-sik. What are you doing? Are you scared of him? Director. Let's just leave for now. With that, Park Yoon-sik discreetly signaled to Kim Namtae and quickly escorted him out of the penthouse. Watching them leave, Yoon Seo looked worriedly at Seong Ji-han. Uncle, did you get into big trouble? Me? What did I do? You picked a fight with someone as high up as the director of BattleNet. If he's the manager, he's probably an administrator of the BattleNet industry, right? Huh? Administrator? That guy? Seong Ji-han chuckled. That person isn't even a player. He's just a politician who parachuted in. Is that so, but won't confronting him this way cause problems? Well, it would have in the past. In the old world, before the advent of BattleNet, money and power were the dominant means of control. But the world has changed now. In this era, players themselves have become the main actors shaping the world. It's just that the older generation couldn't accept this change. However, since they couldn't go against the powerful trend called BattleNet, the compromise they made on their own was forming an organization, and it was also a pretense, or show. That said, with this situation, the Korea Daily will likely publish an article about Seo. Based on the guard's words, they will probably sensationalize the story that Yoon Seo's gift is a dud. To preempt unnecessary misunderstandings, we have to act first. Seo. Yeah? I think we should do an interview on my channel. Oh, you want to reveal my gift before the article comes out? Right. That's something only amateurs would do. Yoon Se smirked, shaking her head. Let's reveal the gift after their article comes out. It'll be more fun that way. Aren't you worried about the stress from the article? While Se's approach might be more effective in terms of impact, it was evident that she would be flooded with mocking and critical comments once the article spread. Seong Ji-han was concerned about that. Uncle, you know, sometimes you have to eat a sweet potato to appreciate the taste of cider even more, right? It was unfortunate. Before we knew it, Yoon Se was becoming like Seong Ji-han. The day after the 25-day Top 100 promotion match concluded, Seong Ji-han becomes the world's strongest bronze, Top 100 winner. Baron, the Grand Mage, lost. He really lost? After 4 years, a Korean player won the Top 100 promotion match, receiving praise from even the American commentator who streamed the match to the world. What is Seong Ji-han's gift? Experts claim, at least SSS grade. US commentator Christoph says, Seong Ji-han should be recruited on a national scale. All praise. Emerging talent after 4 years. The world wonders how much potential he has. US viewers envy. Seong Ji-han of Korea is truly the legend of the league. A flood of articles about Seong Ji-han inundated Korean portals and social media platforms. And it was understandable. It had been 4 years since a Korean player participated in the Top 100 match. Apart from the Sword King, no one had ever won it. The sudden rise of a new superstar naturally drew everyone's attention. Wow, this is the national pride we've been waiting for. I made a treasonous bet of 10 million on the other side and lost all of it. Baron was so weak. It was already surprising he got promoted to bronze in just a month, but winning in Top 100. What's his gift really? Seong Ji-han channel, if we reach 1 million subscribers, he'll reveal it. Everyone, please click like and subscribe. 7. Wait, he already has 300k subscribers? He just became silver, right? Literally a god in silver. The Top 100 promotion match, which was watched worldwide, meant Seong Ji-han's channel wasn't just popular in Korea. He was gaining subscribers at an alarming rate globally. Additionally, international BattleNet news also highlighted Seong Ji-han. His achievements were prominently featured, indicating the immense global interest. But Christoph kept suggesting the US should recruit him. He won't really go to the US, will he? It's possible. He isn't in a guild, right? Right. Maybe he didn't join a guild on purpose to raise his value? The Sword King went to Japan. If we lose Seong Ji-han too, Korea will be hopeless. In that case, just give him Sword Palace. Do you even know how valuable that is? Then what can we offer to match the Sword Palace? At this rate, we'll end up last in the Northeast Asia League. Wow, so many comments. Kim Hee-seo frowned, feeling irritated. Seong Ji-han. She hadn't expected him to win the Top 100 when he first entered. Did I offer to manage him in haste? She thought about her uncle's advertising agency, affiliated with Korea Daily. They also managed BattleNet players' entertainment and advertising activities. The agency wasn't well regarded due to the CEO's, her uncle's, domineering behavior. But I had no other way to stop my boastful uncle from filing a lawsuit. If she hadn't intervened, there would have been a significant backlash now. From the management, I got a heated call. It seems Seong Ji-han was quite rude. Really? Yeah. They were insisting on releasing an article about Yoon Se. Kim Hee-seo recalled the conversation she had with her uncle the previous night. The popularity Seong Ji-han received after winning was unexpectedly positive. Given the lack of national pride after the Sword King incident, this enthusiasm was somewhat anticipated. While there were stronger players in Korea than Seong Ji-han, none had showcased such performance at the same rank. Winning the bronze promotion match with such a significant margin was an outstanding achievement. The admiration from the public was justified. The article will be released soon. The exclusive report from Korea Daily about Yoon Se's gift would garner significant attention. Releasing it would completely sever her ties with Seong Ji-han. Kim Hee-seo checked the comments on other news articles. Can Seong Ji-han join the Do You Know club instead of the Sword King? Don't compare Sword King and him. He's already burning up the global BattleNet community. He's already a VIP in the Do You Know club. But that's only meaningful if Seong Ji-han remains Korean. Stop the nonsense, it's getting annoying. Seeing the comments praising Seong Ji-han made her increasingly uneasy. Kim Hee-soo's fingers trembled slightly. Seeing her handiwork on the headlines, Kim Hee-soo wondered if releasing the article was akin to poking a beehive. But she reassured herself, after all, it's about Yoon Se, not badmouthing Ji-han. What's the big deal? Besides, he's only a silver rank for now, and how could a big company like Korea Daily be threatened by a mere silver player? The article titled, "Exclusive, The Sword King's Daughter Received a Trash Gift," was posted on the portal site. Comments poured in. Wow, is the Sword King's daughter taking college entrance exams? How bad must her gift be for her to consider college entrance exams? Aren't gifts genetic? Her father had an SSS grade gift. So, what's her gift? Within minutes, the article on Korea Daily was trending alongside Seong Ji-han's winning news. As expected, news related to the Sword King was always a hit. Kim Hee-soo smirked as she added a few more comments to fuel the fire. In the modern age, gossip spread like wildfire. As news about Yoon Se went viral, reactions varied. Some felt sympathy for her, while many mocked her. Kim Hee-soo reveled in reading the negative comments about Yoon Se. It somehow eased her frustrations from the past. While she was enjoying Yoon Se's fall from grace, news came that Seong Ji-han was going live on BattleTube. She quickly logged in. Subscribers, 500,000. Seeing his rapidly growing subscriber count made her regret not signing him. I should have focused more on Yoon Se, she thought. But she shook off the regret and tuned into Seong Ji-han's live stream, only to be taken aback seeing Yoon Se sitting beside him, looking quite relaxed. A bad premonition crept into her mind. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm greeting you not from a BattleNet game but in real life, Seong Ji-han said, flashing a relaxed smile. It was his second live stream from Sword Palace, and his demeanor was vastly different from the first time when he had apologized about the Sword King incident. It's Seong Ji-han, congratulations on your win. Seong, you're insane. Mad. I say, give back my $1 million you made me lose on Baron. If subscribers reach 1 million, we can see your gift, right? Why aren't you revealing it yet? The chat was flooded with messages, not just from Koreans but from international viewers as well. Thanks to the advanced alien technology of BattleTube, translations appeared seamlessly, with each translated message indicating the sender's nationality. The chat atmosphere was completely different from the last broadcast, leaving Korean viewers stunned. Is the increase in subscribers for real? Why are there so many foreigners? Indeed, more than half of the chat messages were from international viewers, a testament to the immense attention Seong Ji-han was garnering. Thank you for the congratulations. Seong Ji-han responded to the flurry of comments. He continued, the reason for today's broadcast is due to a defamatory article about my niece, released by a media house yesterday. As Seong Ji-han spoke, Yoon Se bowed her head slightly in greeting. Her face, adorned with a gentle smile, radiated unexpected positivity. Oh, so that's why Yoon Se is here, she's still so pretty. Even with a mediocre gift, she could easily be a celebrity with that face, right? Lol, true. Plus, she's a billionaire lol. I'd not be a player even with a decent gift if I were her lol. The chat room's atmosphere leaned towards the consensus of, what's the big deal if it's Yoon Se? There were of course some derogatory comments, but they were in the minority. Most comments were supportive of Yoon Se. It was clear everyone presumed Yoon Se had an inferior gift due to the widespread news. If they see her gift of late blooming revealed through Hermes's monocle, the tide of opinion will turn, Seong Ji-han thought. They had a lot of evidence to present. Uncle, this is the recording. From when there was a commotion with the BattleNet director, Yoon Se had secretly recorded the conversation. And this, from the security guard. The entire incident where the man from Korea Daily was injured, was discreetly captured by a security guard on his phone. Releasing all this would clarify the situation. But, Seong Ji-han hesitated, feeling something was missing to create a lasting impact. Then, suddenly, bam, RE Gates has donated 100,000 GP. Player Seong. I was deeply impressed by your gameplay. Bam, RE Gates has donated 100,000 GP. I am Robert Gates, a scout from the American First Guild. Bam, RE Gates has donated 100,000 GP. Please check your private messages. A financial bombardment suddenly showered down. Wasn't the minimum GP for channel donations 10,000? P up. P up. P up. Lol. Say power up, you idiot. 100,000 GP? 3 times? 300 million? Lol. Life seems so easy for him? Proposal from America First. This is a rare treat. Interesting. Seong Ji-han's eyes sparkled upon seeing this. Robert Gates was a name he recognized well. With Robert's involvement, the stage is now set, he thought, a sly smile forming on his lips. Robert Edward Gates was the second son of the Gates family, the owners of American First. I didn't expect American First to contact me so openly, Seong Ji-han pondered. In the BattleNet world, guilds could be structured like companies, with distinct owners and operators. While in most guilds the guild master played both roles, in massive guilds like American First, the guild master and the owner could be different entities. To make that distinction, the owner needed to make significant decisions. To become the world's #1 guild, entrust the guild master position to the best player. The Gates family will demonstrate its commitment to achieving the best results. This was the philosophy of the Gates family, which controlled American First. Their method was simple but effective. Use vast amounts of money to recruit outstanding players, and every 2 years, decide whether to retain or change the guild master based on their performance. In the end, Baron, with his unparalleled abilities, continued as the guild master, Seong Ji-han remembered. While it seemed like Baron was the sole leader of American First during humanity's final era, the actual owners were still the Gates family. And Robert is the head of the scouting team that only approaches the best players. Although Robert introduced himself as a mere scout in the donation message, he was one of the top power players within the guild. Especially when it came to spending money, Robert's resources seemed limitless. Thank you for your generous donation, Mr. Gates. I don't usually open my private messages, but given your significant GP donation, it seems appropriate. May I share your message on this broadcast? No sooner had Seong Ji-han finished speaking than another donation arrived. BA Bob Bam, R.E. Gates has donated 1 million GP. Of course. In fact, I'd appreciate it if you made it public. General achievement, reliable support, 2, cleared. You will receive 5,000 achievement points as a reward. The viewers erupted. Wait, the number just got bigger, it seems there's an extra zero? 1 billion. That's the level of a top-tier guild for you. Is he trying to buy the message box with money? It's too much money to scold him about. Holy sh*t. Is American First this rich? Of course. The Gates family is among the top wealthiest in the world. Seong Ji-han responded calmly, shall we see what American First has proposed together? He opened his system window and switched his private message status to public. He then found and opened Robert's message, which was a guild contract proposal translated neatly into Korean. The signing bonus alone was $300 million, an unimaginable amount for a newly minted silver rank player. Seong Ji-han read out all the proposed terms in detail. The viewers' reactions were as expected. I can't resist this, with that kind of money, I'd emigrate to the US too. Sigh, that's why people go to America, the Korean viewers seem to have given up. $300 million? AF sure spends a lot. That's Gates' money. There's one condition, however. Seong must become a US citizen. The American viewers cheered. Oh, naturalization? Welcome. Teaming up with Baron Williams, fantastic. There was a consensus among them that, despite the overpayment, they should get the best players at any cost. Thank you for such a generous offer. I can't give an immediate response, but I'll contact you later, said Seong Ji-han, closing the message window. If it were me, I'd accept right away, taking a break before diving in, huh? Robert Gates' donation and the shocking recruitment proposal from American First allowed the viewers to gauge Seong Ji-han's current stature. Seong Ji-han clapped his hands, changing the mood. Now, shall we return to our main topic? What were we discussing again? Oh, Yoon Se-a's gift. Got brain freeze after hearing about the signing bonus. My brain froze when I saw a donation of 1.3 billion. The original topic that everyone had forgotten due to Robert Gates was Yoon Se-a's gift. Seong Ji-han nudged Yoon Se-a, who seemed lost in her thoughts. Se-a? Yeah? It's time to show your gift? She took a deep breath and opened her status. Gift, late bloomer, rank F. Participate 50 times in the game to upgrade. Upgrades the basic BattleNet system. To upgrade it, you must participate in BattleNet games. F rank effect. Increases daily game participation by 100% increase in natural stat growth. A great vessel is made late. Do you understand, South Koreans? A growing gift? Damn, haven't heard of anything like this before? Even at F rank, it twists the system. How is this a trash gift? Trash, 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 trash. Although the gift was currently at rank F, viewers were stunned by the unique, upgrade, aspect they hadn't seen before. Despite having such a gift, do you think she should still take the college entrance exam? Why even bother with exams lol? She can pick any college she wants. Why does she need an exam? Oh, Korean friends, this person doesn't need to be judged by an exam. The Korea Daily really messed up, she clearly has an amazing gift. The viewers reacted just as Seong Ji-han had predicted. However, aren't you curious why such a mistake was made by Korea Daily? Was there a reason? They probably rushed the scoop, right? Actually, I had an issue with them during Sea's gift ceremony. Seong Ji-han showed the viewers a video captured by a security guard, depicting a silver player causing a scene. Furthermore, perhaps due to my past with them, the BattleNet administration director paid me a visit. Seong Ji-han also played a recording of the administration director, who, under the influence of Korea Daily, tried to force Seong Ji-han into an advertising and management contract. Seong Ji-han laid out all the cards, revealing the truth behind the misleading article on Yoon Se and the challenges he had faced. This is the real story behind the article about Se and the events I encountered. Is this the 1980s? They crossed the line. Viewers were incensed by the BattleNet administration director's antics. Damn, this guy's infuriating. Using a commendation as a threat? Threatening with an exclusive story is so pathetic. What? The administration director siding with a corporation to oppress a player. Seong, come to the US fast. He won't betray his country. Who the hell is this? The chatroom exploded with condemnations against Korea Daily and the administration director. Seong Ji-han watched the reactions for a moment before speaking. My original plan was to establish a guild in Korea. I had a personal experiment I wanted to conduct. A guild? Buy a silver? With so many invites, why create a guild? Moreover, isn't Korea already a competitive red ocean? Shish, he said he had an experiment. He should stay in Korea, why the fuss? However, with the administration director acting like this, I'm hesitant about how I, a mere player, should operate a guild in Korea. Seong Ji-han said, appearing more relaxed than his words conveyed. For now, Seiya and I will remain in Korea until September. But if major corporations and government agencies continue to pressure me, I might consider moving to a country that offers the best terms. Immediately following that, a barrage of donations came in. R.E. Gates has donated 100,000 GP. Player Seong, if you establish a guild in the US, our guild will assist you. The US government will also fully support you. Take Shan has donated 100,000 GP. Seong-san, isn't Japan closer and better than the US? Take Chan, will prepare everything for you. Just say the word. Take Chan increased the donation amount. He's probably feeling the pressure. Suddenly there's a recruitment competition, please, just not Japan. If you're going to go to the US. The mention of a guild formation intensified the recruitment competition from various countries. Whether it was America First or the Neo Self-Defense Force, the connection with their respective governments made this a high-stakes situation. Seong Ji-han continued, thank you for the donations. Establishing a guild in either the US or Japan would certainly spare me from political pressures. He smirked, unless Korea Daily and the administration director publicly apologize and promise not to repeat such actions, I might seriously consider these offers. Though I don't really intend to leave Korea, the signing bonus of $300 million and the incredible terms offered by Robert Gates were tempting, but Seong Ji-han didn't want to leave his homeland. The national bonus after the tutorial and the desire to defeat the Sword King as Korea's representative were part of his motivation. He added, however, I love my home country, South Korea, and wish to stay, but for that, I desperately need your support. The viewers understood his subtle plea, rallying to exert public pressure for a resolution. So if they apologize, you'll stay here. What are you doing? Let's start a petition. Shouldn't we start a boycott against Korea Daily? Let's just do both. The director looks like an old fogey. Think he'll apologize? We'll make him. The viewers were actively rallying behind Seong Ji-han. With a tear in his eye, he bowed deeply. Everyone, I am a Korean, and I want to remain a Korean. I hope this sentiment isn't changed by external pressures, and with that, public opinion erupted.